Testing. Can y'all hear me? Let me see. Hello, hello, hello. It looks like it's real low. Hmm. Can y'all hear me? Lord Jesus. Let me know if you can hear me. Yes. I got mine. JSU rocks the house. All right, y'all can hear me. Can y'all see me? Because for some reason on the last live, the live before the live, couldn't nobody see me. When I looked back at it, it was all black. All right. Hey y'all. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a special guest tonight. I got a special guest tonight. Hey, okay. Before Mr. Ford get on here, I have a special service announcement. Y'all make sure y'all share. So on Saturday, we're going to do a live, and basically, when certain catchphrases are said, you're gonna have to take a sip of some drink. Now, it's ginger ale, water, wine, cognac, uh, a spritzer, whatever your choice of drink is. This Saturday, bring it with you. And when there are certain catchphrases said, you have to take a sip. Okay. All right. So we got to get to the gist of the show, which is it's an epidemic right now, and that epidemic is hiring coaches with no coaching experience. Um, now listen, okay. Oh, I thought we was drinking tonight. I already done got started. I mean, if Mr. Ford says, see, this is the thing. We can do a test run tonight, y'all. We can do a test run tonight. If you see Mr. Ford say drop the link, that's a drink. If he says listen, that's a drink. And if he says wait a minute, that's another drink. And hey, Miss Whitley. So we're gonna do a test run tonight to see how it is. So this is a catchphrase. It's obviously we're celebrating the end of the year, the end of a season. Um, so if you see that, you already know what's up. Now, it can be water, ginger ale, shoot, Gatorade. Some of y'all need to be hydrated. Uh oh. Oh Lord, y'all adding too much. Y'all gonna be drunk. Now look now. Yes, Mr. Thornton, you are subscribed. If you're able to comment, you're subscribed. Oh Lord. Listen, now y'all doing too much. That's y'all gonna be drunk. Ain't gonna be no show. But tonight we're going to talk about that Ashley Robinson blueprint to hire a celebrity coach. I love the Mike Vick. I love the Mike Vick hire. I loved it. Then today they dropped Deshaun Jackson, and I said, "Well, hold up, Deshaun Jackson and Mike Vick, they was on the same team." Did he call up and he said, "Yeah, bro, they got an opening over here if you want it. I got the plug on head coaching hires if you want it. I'm gonna go ahead and send you the information." I mean, it's been an explosion. But this is the problem that the only problem that I have with it, and I'm getting ready to show it to you. See, y'all getting ready to be drunk because he be saying, yes, yes, Miss Granny, and you can drink the holy water. Yes, drink your holy water. Every time he says something, you drink your holy water. Everybody can participate. You can have Gatorade, whatever your drink of choice is. Look at this. They think we a joke, y'all. Do y'all know who Cheetah is on Twitter? This is Tyreek Hill. This is what Tyreek Hill. He said, "Have my HBCU coaching gig ready." Tyreek is still in the NFL. Like, what? Hold up. Hold your horses for a second. Wait a minute. What kind of coaches are y'all going to be? Okay? Now, the Mike Vick hire, I love the hire. And let's not get it twisted. Mike Vick is not a stranger to the HBCU community. As a matter of fact, there was an article that just came out recently about his wife and her fashionista style at the conference, at the press conference, and he went to the Hampton Senior Ball with his wife, right? Mike Vick's wife is a Hampton graduate. It's Mike Vick's home. Um, and like, I feel like Mike Vick is genuine. I also feel like Mike Vick said, "Hey, Deshaun, hey, what's up? Hey, bro, you want to coach? What you over there doing on the couch? What you been doing, bro? I got a coaching job for you." Cause what? So today, I'm gonna open up the panel, and we're gonna have a conversation. We're going to have this conversation tonight. We can joke, we can laugh. I love having that. We ain't gonna have none of that ignorant stuff up here tonight, okay? We're gonna talk like the educated HBCU grads that we are. We can still have fun. Um, some of these, like, come on now, Ty. You know damn well. First, Tyreek Hill is like 30 years old, and oh, I'm bringing up Wayne Cartwright will be here. He's a very um HBCU centered culture from the Hill podcast. Okay. And I'm gonna also share everybody's thoughts. Oh Lord. I'm gonna get out the we're gonna get out the visuals. Hey Miss Bonnie. Don't forget y'all, whenever you see Mr. Ford say drop the link, you gotta drink. We're just doing a trial run tonight, okay? So maybe 3 or 4 catchphrases, then we're done for the night. But we're gonna try it. Whenever he says certain catchphrases, you gotta drink. We're gonna do a trial tonight. I'm gonna go get my water because I left my wine at my friend's house from yesterday, the double XL wine. So I got my water. So that's what we're gonna do. So you'll know when he says certain catchphrases, we're gonna do a trial run today, okay? Yes, Miss Shanetta. That's right. We ain't name calling. Don't disrespect none of my mods. If they block you, then yes, it's grass. Yes, it's grass. Coaches can't go to Magic City. What, Leonard? What are you talking about? See, and that's exactly why Miss Gina be blocking you. Cause what are you talking about? Hey, friend. Hey. All right. No, Max. I have millions, and y'all broke tonight. Oh Lord. So let me go ahead and send um my friend. Don't forget y'all about the drink thing. We're gonna try it tonight, okay? Hey Miss Whitley. Drink. Drop the link. Drink. Listen. Can you hear me? I don't know if we should do can you hear me? Because I don't know if y'all know this, but a lot of times when Mr. Ford says something real messy, I'll pretend like I don't hear him on purpose so that he can say it again. So I don't know. I do it. I'm sorry, y'all. I admit it. I do it on purpose. When he says something messy, like they need to take their ass back to the MEAC, I purposely say, who they need to take their ass where they need to take their ass to, Mr. Ford? I don't know if I heard you. So that's Saturday. Cause I know some of y'all got to work, But we gonna do a trial for tonight. Miss Reed got my wine at the house. Yeah, yeah. I do. I do. I ain't gonna lie. All right. So the order now, I don't want for this to overshadow Prairie View hired Tremaine Jackson. But let me show y'all something. I've been lurking, right? I've been lurking to see what type of players is Mike Vick offering, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I feel like the MEAC is in trouble. Now, when it comes to the coaching and stuff like that, at the end of the day, the coach that bought it all back to the SWAC, the two coaches were, of course, we have TC Taylor, who, that he's not a celebrity hire. He was NFL ready, but he ended up, all I'm saying is the person that bought the championship home was not a celebrity hire, okay? That's my main premise. So, do I like the idea of these NFL coaches coming? Yes. What do I think they need? I think that they need the ADs must make sure that they have somebody already tapped to take over immediately before you even sign the red dotted line. Hey, keep these people on the staff, in whatever position you deem fit. Okay, so let me show you this right before I bring up my special guest. Let me put this up for y'all to see. All right, this is and am I gonna follow the recruiting? I just want to see where they at, right? Where are they at? So this is an official offer from Michael Vick, right? From the Norfolk State Spartans. Behold the green and gold. Delonte Butler is a 6'4", 315-pound defensive tackle, former Florida State University. He's in the portal. Okay? Those are the type of I've only seen 2 offers. The next one that he has is for Jalen Mayo, and Jalen Mayo is a cornerback at Virginia Union University, 2-time CIAA champ, 6'3", 185, 3.0 GPA. So Jalen Mayo, so look, if you get the right people on your staff, hey, what can you say, right? What can you say? And so now I'm going to bring on my special guest for tonight. Me and him are going to chop it up for 15 to 20 minutes. And then I'm going to open up the panel. Unless, of course, you see Mr. Drop the Link. And we're going to have a discussion. Yes. And that's the thing. What kind of coach are you going to be? So I'm welcoming to the stage Wild Wayne Cartwright. He has his own podcast as well as From the Hill podcast. Hey, how you doing?
What's good? How you doing?
Hey, good. I'm good. I
Yeah.
was taking a break, and I was just gonna lay around and be lazy, and then all of a sudden my phone got to and what's going on?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, family? I see everybody out there. Yeah, I was just like everybody went live today. Everybody did a job. Everybody had shows, and I was saying like, man, I'm not gonna get involved. But then I was like, oh man, my girl going live. I said, man, let me go on hit her up, man. Go and spend some time with her
Yeah, come
tonight.
hop up on here because I was like,
Yeah.
man, this is gonna turn into a thing, isn't it? This is
Yep.
gonna turn into a thing. And of course, Alabama A&M, we're waiting on your announcement
Yeah, we are waiting. Yeah, man.
for your
Don't
head coaching position. So
yeah.
I think you could probably give us some insight, right? Because you guys are searching for a head coach. What are the reasonings that the MEAC ADs are looking for this push? There's so much stuff surrounding the MEAC, possibility of some teams going back to the MEAC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think is the reasoning that these ADs are choosing to forgo? Damn a resume. They're not even. Is Deshaun Jackson a Hall of Famer?
No. Uh-uh.
Is Mike Reed a Hall of Famer?
No. Uh-uh.
So damn the Hall of Famer gold jacket. We ain't even looking for that no more, right? So
Yeah,
what do you
this
think about
Deshaun
it?
Jackson came out of, I mean, this one came out of left field, man. I mean, because now shout out to Jeff Lightsey. He's been on From the Hill podcast before. He was the guy who broke the story. Um, and I'll admit, when I first saw it, I was like, man, I don't know, bruh. I was like, but then when I saw the Four Letter Network got a hold of it, I was like, okay. And just so folks know about Deshaun Jackson, what's different between his situation and Mike Vick is there is no contract yet. All they have is they have an agreement in principle at Delaware State for Deshaun Jackson to become head coach. Now, they still need to. So basically, it's like this. He's operating off of an MOU, which y'all know, memorandum of understanding, right? And so,
So
no, he's not a
basically the same thing that Ed Reed
that
was.
Ed Reed was on. And no, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer. You can go ahead and look that up. He ain't even been retired for 3 years. Yeah, 38 years old, but he's not a Hall of Famer. But yes, he has not signed a contract yet. So they're still in the process of making that happen. But they have
But who
agreed in
broke this
principle.
story? Who did that? Who broke
So
the
so
story like
so
that?
yeah, Jeff Lightsey, Victory Formation, he covers y'all. Jackson State, he covers y'all.
But okay, so that's why I quoted him and I said, "Bruh, you better hope that ink is dry because they are literally utilizing your name to push this story."
Yeah,
And
and
it's
they
like,
cite him. They cite him in the article on ESPN.com. But what ESPN.com said, they said that they're going to be meeting in the coming days to finalize the contract and all that stuff. So right now, they just have an agreement in principle for him to become the head coach. It's
mm.
different. It's different than what Mike Vick has. Mike
Well,
Vick, they
mind
got to
you, Mike
sign.
Vick, Mike Vick, they were whispering about it, right?
Right, right,
Whispering.
right,
They just
right.
got loud. So, do you think that Mike Vick, they played on the same team together? That was one of his biggest wide receivers. You think Deshaun called him up and said, "Hey, bro, what's up?" And then he was like, "Hey, there's another opening. It's the MEAC. You ain't got to do nothing. Let me just go ahead and get you the number."
Yeah, it was real crazy because like the
No,
story is said,
it said
it is
Vic posted
said,
on his page as
yeah, the
well.
story is said that Deshaun Jackson always wanted to coach at an HBCU. But you normally though, like for something to get said like that, you would hear that in earnest. Like you would really, really see that, right?
So Casey Davis says he thinks Deshaun has been coaching high school ball, which I mean, folks was ready to offer Teddy Bridgewater a head coaching position too. If he
Yeah,
wasn't if
right.
he wasn't head set on going to the Detroit Lions, like Buddy would have been at an HBCU too. So what I want to talk about is this Deion Sanders Jackson State phenomenon because that's basically what spurred this revolution for
Yeah.
hiring coaches. Um, is this something that's sustainable, or is it a fad that will quietly go away once they realize that it's a one of one situation.
Well, I think I think the situation at hand. I think that the way everything worked with Deion Sanders, uh, I think that as in a short time in 2 years, we really didn't get like the fullness of really to see, exactly how all of that would play out. You know what I'm saying? It was a short time. Now, whether or not Mike Vick and Deshaun Jackson can actually do this and actually make this sustainable, that's something that we'll find out pretty quickly. Now, one thing that Mike Vick did have is that if anybody remembers, and Timoni, you may remember that league that they had, the AAF, the American Association of Football. It was short lived. The pandemic came and interrupted it. But Mike Vick was the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Legends team. And
Okay.
so that was professional. I mean, even though it wasn't NFL, it was still professional football, right?
Right.
So he did have that kind of experience, which was pretty relevant.
Right.
Now,
That is relevant. So let's acknowledge that
it
this
is,
is
but
not his
to
first
me,
rodeo.
I think what's going to be really vital is like what Deion Sanders did. He hired a tremendous staff. He had dogs that was on his staff that had cachet, that had tons of experience, and they were able to kind of like bridge some gaps that maybe he might have had. Now,
Might have
I
had all he had.
no,
Deion Sanders.
I'm talking about might have had when he started. I'm talking about past
Right.
tense,
Right. So
right?
Deion
Past tense.
Sanders literally was what you would call a CEO coach.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he was the one that was, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, we appreciate it. We was dancing right on with him, which is dancing on the sidelines
Yep.
when he was able to stand up. He was dancing. When he was in his wheelchair, he was bucking back and forth. And we're not gonna act like that wasn't invigorating to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but outside of continuously making folks go on fourth down, Deion wasn't making no calls.
Yeah. Now, if you go back to it, you remember when Dion first took over, everybody's first questions was, could he coach? Can he recruit? The recruiting question was answered real fast. When you seen Travis Hunter, you already knew that. So
Oh, the recruiting was out.
recruiting wasn't no problem.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta want. I wonder about Mike Vick, about how he has the experience of just, albeit it was short lived experience. You know what I'm saying? And also the fact that he's from that area, he's got all those connections in that area. I think that's gonna serve him well. But again, it gets down to what kind of staff does he have? Who does he have running his day to day operations? That's what's also important too, y'all. People always, we think about offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. No, what's also important is who's your director of operations? Because your director of operations, they are so vital to you because they can get you on a path where they got your daily schedule, they got your logistics, they got all this stuff together. So who he gets in place, that will be vital to see how successful Mike Vick can be. And also I say that also with Deshaun Jackson as well. Now, one thing that Mike Vick has that Deshaun Jackson unfortunately won't have is that at least at Norfolk, they've got a pretty nice facility there. You look at their stadium, William Price Stadium. It's a pretty nice stadium. Seats 30,000. They got turf and all that. Whereas at Delaware State, man, have you ever seen where they play football, man? That's like look almost like a high school. And they have a commitment that athletics is going to put money behind it to try to improve like their facilities, but they got a long way to go in comparison to what Norfolk State already sits at. So we'll see, man. It's a lot. Like I said, this thing with Deshaun Jackson, this thing really hit everybody out of left field. Nobody saw this. Not a single person. If he wasn't on your radar, wasn't in your thoughts, wasn't nowhere in it. At least with Mike Vick, there were even rumblings. I'll even tell y'all this. His representation reached out to our representation at Alabama A&M a few years ago with just with an inquiry about just the kicking the tires because he was saying he was interested in getting into coaching. Now, A&M wasn't the only place that he reached out to. There were other schools that his representation reached out to. So I do want to make that fair. But at least you knew for at least the last couple of years that Mike Vick was in the game. He was interested in doing it. And
Okay, so this
also
is pre. So this is pre Deion. He was interested
he was
in
interested.
coaching.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
well that's good. That's good to hear that before Dion that he was interested in coaching, right? That's something that's interesting and that's great background to hear that before
Yeah,
the Dion phenomena that he reached out to inquire about coaching.
he did.
Somebody in the chat says, honestly, what does DSU have to lose? At the very
Facts.
least, this hire will bring much needed attention to Delaware State and the MEAC conference. DSU facilities are actually great.
You mean are actually not are not actually not great. If you look at where they play basketball and volleyball. But anyway, Delaware State, they have not had a winning season since 2006. Or sorry, 2012. Going back in my brain, 2012. And it's been 2011 for Norfolk State. So 2011 Norfolk State, 2012 Delaware State. So it's been a minute for both programs. Shoot, that's that. I mean,
So
you
they have to their point, you are it brings parity to the MEAC. It brings
mm-hmm.
attention to the MEAC. It makes North Carolina A&T look like, oh, okay, what y'all got going on here? Hampton might be
Right.
like, oh, okay, what y'all got going on here?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe kind of push them more towards going back to the MEAC. For me, I agree. Like, what do they have to lose? What do they have to lose?
Nothing
I think
really.
I just think for coaches that have been coaching for 10, 15, 20 years, championship coaches at the D2 level, or been on championship teams at the D1 level, maybe as offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators, and they're wanting that shot, that they're having to take a back seat to players who, they might not necessarily know the rules and regulations of academia, as
Mm-hmm.
Vic pointed out. You know, that wasn't something that was highlighted at Virginia Tech or any other Power Five type of institution that, and that's something that now you have to acknowledge. Like, that's very, very important. Academics is important. Um, I'm glad that I haven't seen not one NFL player say, "God told me to come over here."
Ooh boy,
This
man.
is probably the biggest plus that we see. We have
Mm-hmm.
not seen one NFL player say, "God told me to be here." And I think that if anything can be learned about establishing these relationships between NFL players, HBCU coaching, it's just you can pray to God, but as long as you don't say God brought you here to save all HBCUs, you be all right.
Yeah, yeah. And I can totally understand with all the family here that are Jackson State alums and fans. I totally can understand where your positions are in relation to Deion Sanders. Because what a lot of people feel, they feel like, and this is also to Mike Vick's credit, where when he talked about, hey, I reached out to Deion Sanders, and Deion Sanders gave him, the insight. Now, obviously, we haven't heard from Deshaun Jackson yet. So it remains to be seen about what he has to say about his influence to get into the position at Delaware State. But at least Mike Vick acknowledged that Deion Sanders was a mentor to him and also was an inspiration to him to get into coaching and actually follow through with taking this position. Yeah, leave the Lord out of it.
Yes, leave the good Lord
Leave him
out of
out of
it.
it. Leave him out
Okay,
of
there's
it.
nothing wrong with saying I prayed about this and I think it's a great fit for my family, right?
Right,
I prayed. We were ready to make the sacrifice. Because that's one of the things that it takes, of course, is sacrifice. Um, Listening to Mike Fick's presser, I felt like it was genuine. It was coming
me
from a
too.
genuine place. I
I
felt like,
agree.
okay, he knows that this is not a small feat. But when I looked at some of his offers, I was like, okay, he's
Mm-hmm.
done started sending out offers,
Mm-hmm.
building his team.
Mm-hmm.
He has his community behind him. You saw Allen Iverson was there.
Yep.
He's gonna get his cousin involved. So he has. See, this is the thing that I'm looking for. Which, when we talk about bringing in resources or bringing stuff in, Fox Sports, where you at? Did he get some type of, hey, we'll come out to one of your biggest games that you have on campus and we'll cover it? Those are the type of things that we're looking for, right?
Right.
Um, and I saw that Trey Boston from the Panthers, he said, hey, I'm interested in coaching. And he said, Valley, what's up? Alabama A&M, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
I can be a head coach too.
Yeah, Trey's good people. I ran into him at the Celebration Bowl. We kicked it for a minute. Yeah, he used to play at North Carolina, and he's doing his thing over there at HBCU Go. Formerly, he was on ACC Network. So, yeah, the
Is
word is
this
out there.
true? Is
Nah,
this allegedly?
it's all allegedly. People been saying that stuff for weeks. It's all allegedly. I'm gonna tell everybody right now. If you ain't heard nothing directly from Dr. Bryant, it ain't valid. Because Dr. Bryant, he definitely would tell you if it's true or not. You
So
know.
here's my thing. I don't think anybody is interested in hiring Ed Reed. Everybody's getting a head coaching job but Ed Reed, and Ed Reed was the first in line.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, Erie definitely was an intriguing guy. And his name's been kicked around and floated around a lot for a reason. Flat out.
What? What do you mean it's been floated around for a reason? Is this a thing?
I
God,
mean,
please help me.
it's been floated around, but it's been floated around not just at, last year, it was floated around at Texas Southern. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not to say that he actually had interviews, but everybody in here know his name been floated around for the last couple years. Y'all know for real. I mean, and what he did when he was at Bethune Cookman, we know everybody remember the videos, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? People can get second chances, they can grow. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying about Ed Reed. You know, but I see this. I seen somebody in the comments said that Cam Newton was coming to Alabama A&M.
So here's my thing with this statement. God saw beginning and knows end. He is a Texas Southern alum or Texas Southern fan, acting like Chris Dishman from the Houston Oilers isn't over there at his institution. Because that's where Chris Dishman comes from.
Right.
Eddie Robinson Jr. was before Deion,
Mm-hmm.
or and he is a Houston Oiler. What? Who's the other Houston Oiler?
It was Bubba.
Bubba McDowell, a Houston Oiler. That was three Houston Oilers in the SWAC at one time.
Yep. Yep. And don't forget Eddie George over there at
Tennessee
TSU,
State.
Tennessee State. Yeah.
So getting former NFL players is not new. It's not new. It's
No, it's
just
not new.
Jackson State took it to another level by getting Deion, and Deion is so like, I gotta have cameras. It has to be marketed. I have to do this, this, and that. and he bought so much fanfare, and it was drama too. He bought so much to Jackson State all at once. But
Mm-hmm.
Jackson State complimented Deion in the sense that Jackson State, our band is flashy, our fans are flashy in the sense that they like attending games all over the country. Um, I don't know if some of these coaches are doing SWOT analysis. So I did a SWOT. We did a SWOT analysis a couple. I want to say like maybe last week on Michael Vick and his coaching. So maybe we can do a SWOT on Deshaun Jackson and Delaware State, maybe real quick on the strengths of this particular hire, the
Facts.
possible weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats that impact this program. So
Yeah.
one of the strengths, I guess, that you pointed out is that they haven't had a winning season since 2012. So that means
2012.
that on it's they're not necessarily expecting a championship day one, right?
Right.
They haven't
Look,
been winning, so
they went 1-11 this year. They were 1-10 last year. So I mean, if he wins 2 games, he's already got an improvement.
not winning 2 games. Lord have mercy. I don't know. I could see, okay, so a strength is I could definitely see marketed right. You got to have those folks that are marketing. Deshaun Jackson versus Michael Vick, my former quarterback versus my former wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That type of matchup turned into a bowl game or turned into something big where you get media coverage from that. You get folks hyping it up to include the community. I feel like that is something that could definitely make a mark.
Yeah.
What do you think are the strengths for this possible? Because, like you said, it's a MOU, a memorandum of understanding
Right.
of this hire.
Yeah. So I think strengths are and what HBCU Pass put in the comments, the school is heavily investing into the facilities. And I think with his cachet, because Deshaun Jackson is a big personality. He has been, he's been doing podcasts and stuff like that. But when he was a player, Deshaun Jackson was a polarizing figure. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude could talk trash with some of the best of them out there. That dude, I mean, and everybody who remember watching him, that dude could talk trash, man. And he would back it up. So he's a polarizing figure, and he's a
Who could
record.
talk trash?
Talking about Deshaun Jackson could when he was out there on
Oh,
that field. That
he
dude
was
was a.
he's a trash talker.
Oh yeah, he was. Oh man, that dude would
We
talk
need
cash
another one of
money.
those in the MEAC.
He would talk
Can you
cash
imagine?
money.
Can you imagine Deshaun Jackson and Trey Oliver?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Lord have
Yep. Yep.
mercy.
But yeah, so like Ian said, a great trash he's a great trash talker. So, he's a polarizing figure and he's an identifying figure. You know what I'm saying? Uh so that's just something that I think will be to his benefit, a strength for him. Because recruits, they can identify with who he is and who he was as a player. So that is something I think is a strength for him.
Wait a minute. Having a rolling 60s crib for a head coach is crazy work.
People
Who
say
is
a
a
lot of people
rolling
a lot of
60s?
people a lot of people were saying like, man, they think he was gang related because he got a lot of tattoos. He from California. I don't know if he gang related. I mean, I ain't saying.
What in the
I'm just
world is
saying what
going on here? Hold up.
I'm
Wait a
just saying.
minute.
I'm just saying what a lot of people were saying like on social media. But
Oh, okay. Not
yeah,
rolling 60s.
look
D-Jack
at
is a
somebody
crip.
said D Jack is a crip.
Please, Ed. Ed be dropping tea in the chat, y'all.
I'm only saying, look, like we said,
Yeah, there we
allegedly.
go.
I'm only
There we
saying
go. Because I
allegedly
haven't
what it's
heard
been
that.
put out there. You know what I'm saying? So like we ain't here saying that Deshaun Jackson definitely isn't was gang related.
Can we
Allegedly.
get some allegedlys in here? I
Come
need
on,
about
keep the
8 more.
allegedly. Let's keep it
Alleged.
right.
Alleged.
Let's keep it right.
Oh, Lord. What?
Yeah. He said the MEAC
Niggas
is gonna
come from
have
that
to
hood. He done bang. Yeah, we ain't finna have none of that. If you lose, don't be over here cutting up now. All I see is facts. I need some more allegedlys. Cause what in the world? No, allegedly he don't be scared. Say what you just. I ain't got nothing to say. Hey, we ain't gonna do none of that. We ain't gonna do no talking.
Mm-mm.
We ain't gonna do no.
Yeah, but so yeah, I think with his polarizing, he's a polarizing figure, man, for real. So I think that's gonna definitely be to his benefit. These folk
Listen,
rolling, man. They got me rolling, boy.
they make
Allegedly,
me want to go to MEAC SWAC Media Day. Okay, y'all are cutting up.
right?
I need to head to Virginia for MEAC SWAC Media, or no, MEAC Media Day and
MEAC
SWAC
Media
Media
Day.
Day. Yeah,
Yeah,
MEAC. I said MEAC SWAC. No, MEAC
yeah.
Media
MEAC
Day.
Media Day, man. Shoot, that's gonna become a red carpet event now.
Lord. Okay, so I know, right? Okay, so let's talk about the openings. Oh, okay, I want your take on Tremaine Jackson. That's what I want your take on. What do you think about
Yes.
Tremaine? So Prairie View went with a championship coach at the D2 ranks
Mm-hmm.
and somebody with coaching experience, someone that knows how to recruit.
Yep.
They want the more traditional way in terms of finding a head coach. Um, and it's to note that they did hire a former NFL player to be their head coach previously, which was Bubba McDowell. I feel
Right.
like Bubba, he did pretty good. He elevated to the SWAC West division, clinching it so easily in his first and second year that when his third year didn't pan out really well, they kind of
Yeah.
went in a new direction.
Yeah. It just was his contract expired, and it happened to be that Anton Goff, the athletic director, you know how this works. Anton Goff didn't hire you. And so sometimes when the athletic director didn't hire you, sometimes they want to go in a different direction. So what I think about what I think about this hire though,
Merry Christmas.
right? Merry Christmas to you. So what I think about this hire, first of all, love the hire. We knew this. We most of us we knew this was coming for weeks. Uh, I wish that this would have been announced on Sunday, not like right after they lost the D2 championship game, but it is what it is. He coached at Colorado. He coached at a college, Colorado Mesa before that, and then he coached at Valdosta State. So, and prior to that, Houston native, 41 years old, Houston native, played at Texas Southern for a bit, also played at Louisiana Monroe. So he's Houston through and through. Okay, so this makes sense. The other thing I like about this hire is that at Valdosta State, he came and he got through a lot of adversity. So his first season, they were 5-6, and a lot of people they wanted to immediately get rid of him down there. But then he turned it around, led them to the playoffs in the second year, and then they were undefeated, 12-0, and then lost to Ferris State. A lot of people don't know Ferris State. They're a powerhouse in D2. So, but I think this hire is really, really good because being that he's from that area and he has the experience building rosters like he does, I think that this is going to serve these guys well. And also, for those that don't know, what he had to deal with down there at Valdosta, they share a stadium. Their stadium's called Bazemore Hyder Stadium. They share it with Valdosta High School. Now, those of you that might know Valdosta High School, they're the all-time winningest high school in high school football, but they share the stadium with them, and a lot of the paintings and a lot of the seating and all that, it's like in the image of the Valdosta Wildcats. And so now when you go to Prairie View, you've got much better facilities, and so you put that on the fact that he's able to do a lot of recruiting in a better environment on his own battlegrounds. I think this is going to serve these guys really well, really well. And unfortunately, his hire has now become like kind of an afterthought now when you look at like Mike Vick and Deshaun Jackson. But This is a, I mean, this is a significant hire, man.
So I feel like it's okay. So I want to see what he does out the portal, right?
Right.
Because PV versus everybody. Lionel been talking about him being able to get some of those Texas recruits that would normally go to Stephen F. Austin or that would go to U of H or that are transferring from U of H but still want to stay close to home. We're going and he's a Texas native. He's a Houston,
Yep.
Texas native. I'm wondering, does he have the ability to utilize any coaching trees? Did he build any coaching trees from Houston or any of these other Texas schools so that he can um, get some of these players? I think the staff that you build is so important. Um, and so, for instance, for Mike Vick, him being able to get that Virginia pipeline going, I think that's going to be something that's really great for him.
Yep.
For Jackson State, I always use Jackson State as an example because the way that it was methodically put together and how it actually worked, um, not just coaching trees, but some of these folks that are at some of these uh, community colleges, D2 schools, or they're from Jackson State. As a matter of fact, I want to say Hines Community College just hired a young man who
Mm-hmm.
he's actually a Jackson State alum. And somebody said that he played with TC. So, with that being said, you have an automatic pipeline right there.
Yeah.
Send me your
Yeah.
best players.
Yeah. And this guy Tremaine, he has a defensive background. He was a defensive lineman. He also was a defensive coordinator, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up too. He served as defensive coordinator at NAIA Sioux Falls. Now, Sioux Falls, those that might know head coach of Alabama, Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer built a dynasty at the NAIA level with Sioux Falls, and Tremaine Jackson was the DC on one of those staffs. So he's got some. Those are some of the intangibles that comes with this position and his background. So we'll see what he does because Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, including recruiting and getting recruits. But I think he'll
So
do well.
somebody in the chat, Willie Little says Houston, Dallas, Austin, Southeast Texas,
Yep.
Southwest Louisiana will be the main recruiting territory for Prairie View Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I
And
think I
then
think he'll do well.
JSU Tigers points out Jackson State recruits all those regions.
Yeah, I think Tremaine will do well, man. I think he'll do
Somebody
real
get
well.
Mr. Ford on the line. Is Mr. Ford around? Where's Mr. Ford? Have you heard? Has anybody heard from Mr. Ford?
Mr. Ford, Mr.
Um,
Mr. Ford still chilling from yesterday.
Mr. Thornton said, "Can you teach me how to talk trash in an undercover name? I want to talk mess, but some of these NFL new coaches and podcasters scare me." Okay, so I just put an APB out for Mr. Ford. So I want to know what you feel about the JUCO eligibility. Um, so we need to make a couple of clarifications,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because allegedly, the eligibility for kids that went to JUCO, it's only at this point in time available to kids who would exhaust all of their eligibility this year.
Correct. This up yes, this year.
So
Correct.
basically, if this year was your last year,
Mm-hmm.
you get only 1 year of eligibility. One
One.
year
One additional. Correct. So
at this without any I guess it's without any lawsuits. At this point in time, they extended. Um, okay, so y'all know what to do, right? What we supposed to be doing right now? For those of y'all in the chat, what we
taking
supposed
a
to be doing?
drink. Yeah, so So for
What
this
we supposed to be
JUCO,
doing in the chat, y'all? We practicing.
yeah. So for this JUCO eligibility. So for those that may not know, Diego Pavia, he's a quarterback for Vanderbilt. Ironically, they play tomorrow in the Birmingham Bowl. Quarterback for Vanderbilt. He transferred to Vanderbilt this year, which he thought was going to be his last season. Um, and he transferred from New Mexico State. And prior to that, he had played in junior college in the state of New Mexico. He went and he filed a lawsuit to seeking an extra year of eligibility, and his case was granted. And so what they said was they extended his rights from his case to all current players that may apply to. Now, most notably from Alcorn State, the defensive first team All SWAC defensive lineman Malachi Bailey. He also was a JUCO player previously. He was going to enter the NFL draft. But then once this ruling came down and they extended the rights to him, he decided, oh, well, I'm just going to enter the transfer portal then, since I have one more year of eligibility. And that news came down yesterday. So what I believe with this, uh, first off, I think that this is a cool thing for now. And I'm gonna just say for now, I'm gonna speak present tense because I think that if you get into in the stance of allowing players to go to JUCO and play 2 years, and those 2 years don't count against your NCAA eligibility, so meaning that you could go play 4 years there, and also given you got red shirts and different stuff like that, man, you can have like a habit of like 26, 27 year olds playing in sports. And I think in this day and age of where Timona, we talked about it, about these roster limits going up on the FBS level. And I think with the fact that you have these roster limits going up, you've already got it real tight for players to find places to play if they want to be on the FBS level. And also, if you extend that all the way down even onto the FCS level, it just makes things a little bit more stickier in terms of just like managing rosters and having eligibility. And then you couple that with the transfer portal, you've already got enough movement as is. So I think just uh it's good for now, but let's just see if they decide to make this a permanent thing. But for right now, it's just a 1 year deal. And there are people who are discussing in the courts to try to make this a permanent thing. So, yeah.
Hey, so we have welcome to the panel, Doc Holliday of HBCU Overdrive and Mr. Ford. How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good.
but yeah, man. Good to see you. Good to hear from you, Mr. Ford, and my boy Doc.
What's going on, everybody?
Man, we living, man. We living. We living. I know I said a mouthful, man, about the JUCO, but hopefully, like Johnny Thornton said it right here. Yep, to this group of plaintiffs. Yep, he said exactly what I said. It's got to be ratified before it can be, before it becomes permanent, and that's what they're talking about. But Lord, if that thing become permanent,
It's gonna be
man,
crazy if it become permanent.
man.
Mr. Ford, what is going on with these HBCUs?
They thinking outside of the box. Um, when I
Outside of the
started,
box.
yeah, who would have ever thought somebody would hire Deshaun Jackson? When I saw it, I was watching Kansas State and Rutgers, and it came across the ticker. First thing came out my mouth was, "Damn!" That's all. That's damn. And I called my good friend from Florida A&M, and he thought it was a joke because he said that Deshaun was a clown.
Ooh, wait a
Yeah,
Mm.
minute. Wait,
yeah,
y'all. Wait a minute. Can we get some allegedlys in the? Oh, he
yeah.
really did say that.
Yeah, he
Mm.
thought Deshaun was a clown.
Really?
But
Why did they
anyway,
say
I
that?
was a big fan
Oh,
of his. Now, I was a big fan of Deshaun's. I think he's one of the greatest Eagles ever that I've seen because he was electrifying now. Because remember, he was not only a wide receiver, he was a punt returner. Didn't he do kickoff returns?
He did kick returns too sometimes, but
Yeah, and
yeah.
he was
Hmm.
electrifying. Because he grew up with Richard Sherman. Deshaun's daddy trained both of them.
Yep,
Because I think Deshaun was like a great baseball player, wasn't he?
he was.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. He was a great base. But anyway, I'm just gonna sit back and watch this. I really am. Huh? Now, as far as y'all talking about how bad the football stadium at Delaware State is, what they need to do is try to play some games at either Franklin Field or play in the home of the Eagles, where the Eagles play. Invite Southern and Grambling and Jackson up there. They'll get a big crowd in them stadiums up there. Because to be honest with you, uh, that stadium at Delaware State ain't no worse than the one at Howard. Have y'all seen Green Stadium?
Yeah, it's small. It's a
Yeah,
small
that's what
stadium.
I'm
Yeah.
saying. So it ain't. But and as far as that Jackson man is concerned, a lot of them kids is gonna wait to see what he does his first 2 years. Now, I think he is because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's gonna do great. I really do. I think that that guy's gonna do really well. I'm talking about. I could see him possibly competing for the Celebration Bowl bid. Now, I don't know how soon it's going to be, but I can see it happening because I think he's going to do well. I'm just waiting to see the staff. Is he going to bring that staff from Valdosta State? If he brings that staff, yeah, it'll be sooner than later.
Yeah.
Some folks in the chat are speaking to you, Mr. Ford.
Hey, Miss Whitley. Hey, Miss Whitley.
Stop saying it! Stop saying
That's two drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
it! Mr. Ford.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Lord have mercy. So, um, we were just talking about
Uh-huh.
the phenomena of Deshaun Jackson and Mike Vick,
Right.
and but what a lot of us pointed out was that there isn't. It's a win-win situation, right? Because they've been losing.
Oh,
Wayne
yeah.
pointed
Yeah.
out that
Yeah.
the Delaware State ain't had a winning season since 2012.
2012.
Yeah. And who was the coach then? Who was coaching there?
Man.
Was it Bill Kolick or somebody? Who was it?
talking about this pat
No,
before
no,
they got
no.
the
I'm
lead
saying
hole.
who was the coach when they had a winning season?
Bill Coley.
Yep.
Bill Kolick. Yeah, I remember Bill. It was a white man before Bill. He was something else.
Yep. And then they had Rob Milstead. And before they
Yeah, I
hired
remember. I remember Rod. Rod was the one that played for the 49ers. I remember him.
mhm.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yep. And before they hired Deshaun Jackson, there were some alums that wanted Rob Milstead back. And
Yeah, I heard that too.
I was like, man, you
Yeah.
can't do that now.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a vote real quick. Um, are we bringing Mayon up here or no? Let's get Doc's. Doc's been waiting. Doc, go ahead and share your thoughts on Deshaun Jackson being hired. We're gonna take a vote on that one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Doc.
What was that?
Your thoughts on Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, sure. Whatever. They ain't been winning now, so they need a shot in the arm somewhere. So that's my take on it. Let's see if he could get. Let's see if he could get Philly and some of the DC and Baltimore.
All right. Okay, so I have another question. This is a good question. Alabama A&M and Valley are the two standing D1 HBCUs. Am I correct? Everybody else has been filled.
Yeah.
Um, and those are both, of course, SWAC schools. What do you think about Trey Boston? I'll start with Mr. Ford, and then I'll go to Wayne, and then Doc. What do you think about Trey Boston, Mr. Ford, the one that covers HBCU Go? He said he wants to put his name in the hat for an HBCU head coaching job.
Yeah, this is the guy with Charlie Neal, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
he said
Oh
that
yeah.
he's interested.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I just know that he's on television. But as far as coaching, I mean, if somebody want to give him a chance, I mean, hey, ain't nothing wrong with. Like I tell everybody, it's about the infrastructure. I always say winning starts with the presidents. It starts with the presidents. It comes down to the athletic director. From the athletic director, you got the head coach and the staff, and then the player. That's why I say, uh, Jackson's so successful. Your president, your AD, and your head coach are on the same page. So if they can get that, if Deshaun can get the president and the AD and himself and the staff on the same page, the sky's the limit. Because I always say if you got discipline and organization, you can win.
Yeah. I know with Trey Boston, I know he was a corner. He played in the NFL. I know he played with the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
Uh and and yeah, he's on HBCU Go. Formerly he was on ACC Network. So, he played collegiately at North Carolina. I know he has experience, from the game aspect, but as far as coaching, I mean, that was a look here. I'm gonna just say it like this. When I saw Deshaun Jackson name get thrown out there today, I was like, man, nobody surprised me no more.
I'm serious.
Nobody.
You have to show. Hey man, yeah, that's interesting.
Because nobody saw that name anywhere. Nowhere. We said at the beginning of the show, we said at least with Mike Vick, you knew that there was rumblings of it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew that. It wasn't a surprise when the move was finally made. So yeah. It said, yeah. This is a good point right here. Yep. Just because you played don't mean that you can coach. Because there's a lot of folk that played in the NFL that coached the HBCUs that flamed out. Hello, Stump Mitchell.
Yeah, he was terrible. But at
That's
least he
the
did
first
leave
one.
behind Dawson Odoms.
That's the first one I could look at, man. Shoot, Stump Mitchell, man. It was a little rough.
Well, Ken Riley was coach at FAM. They eventually fired him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lionel Taylor
Yep.
was at Texas Southern,
Yep. Reggie Barlow at Alabama
Alabama
State.
State. Yeah.
But Reggie Barlow had success at Alabama State though.
He did. He
Yeah.
did. But eventually he got fired too, though.
Big. His dad. That last name was Highsmith. Remember, he went to Texas Southern. Walter Highsmith. He left FAMU as defensive coordinator and went to Texas Southern. He had Michael Strahan.
Yep.
Michael Strahan played for him.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
let's not forget about Harold Jackson with Jackson State, man.
Yeah,
Big
Harold
old soul.
Jackson. How about Larry Little? He was a Hall of Famer.
Bethune Cookman.
And
Yep.
North Carolina Central. He was Dawson Odoms and Trey Oliver's coach. That was their
Yep.
coach.
Yep.
So
Harold
I think
Jackson,
it's
yeah.
great to point out that having NFL, there's not having coaches that played in the NFL. It's not anything new. I'm gonna share Dre's list. He says Barlow from Alabama
He
State,
said the fake Eddie Robinson.
Eddie Robinson
Come
Jr.
on, man.
Wow, that's crazy.
The Houston Oilers, um, Doug Williams.
Right?
Um, where did Doug Williams?
Yep. That's Grambling.
Yeah,
yeah,
Grambling.
the
Oh yeah, he was at
quarterback.
Morehouse too.
Yeah, he's at Morehouse. Yeah, yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Hill for JSU. What coach he talking about?
yeah.
Harold
He was
Jackson.
before. Hill was before W.C. Gordon.
Yeah, yeah. Bob Hill took over for
Bob Hill. Yeah.
yeah, he took over for Big John Merritt.
No, 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 no,
No, no,
no,
was
no.
that
You had
after?
Rod Page in there after I think Big John.
Okay,
Rod Page was coaching, and then after Rod, maybe Bob Hill took over because Bob Hill was Walter Payton's coach.
right.
Of course, TC. Well, Coach TC Taylor. He I want to say, was it the Patriots?
Yeah, New England. Yeah.
They said or excuse me, Carter from FAMU.
Oh, he was terrible. Reuben Carter. He was
Yeah,
awful.
he was bad.
He was
He was
terrible.
real bad.
Why
Real
was he
They,
bad.
bad,
Hey,
y'all? Like,
hey,
oh
Ruben,
some
Lord.
Mr.
history
Ford
about
Oh,
gonna get on.
Carter. Give
Mr.
us some
Ford gonna
history
say
about Carter.
Ruben Carter was terrible.
Earl
Earl
Holmes was
Holmes was
worse.
terrible.
He was the worst one of all.
He said
But
Earl Holmes was
uh,
terrible.
yeah,
Give us some history. So basically, y'all are saying NFL players coaching at HBCUs. There's nothing new about it. Don't
no,
make it seem like it was a
no,
Deion Sanders phenomenon because it's not,
no,
right?
no, it's not.
Nah,
Uh,
look
Full
at Delaware State before they had hired Lee Ho. Rob Milstead was their head coach. He won the Super Bowl with San Francisco back in the day.
Right, right. Yeah, Earl Holmes was
he's the
real
worst
bad.
coach in
He
FAMU
was
history.
so bad.
He
the
was the
worst
worst.
coach.
The
He's the worst
worst.
coach in FAMU's history.
Yep,
How bad
the
was it, Mister
worst.
Ford?
Oh, he was awful. He was terrible. I remember when they named him, we were like, I can't believe this.
He had two and nines.
He was terrible.
See, he had two and no, he had a 1-10 and a 2-9. I do remember that.
And Kessler Winslow fired him, I think, a few days before the homecoming game.
That's bad
Dang,
when you get fired before
you
your
get
homecoming
fired
game.
Before
before
Yeah,
homecoming.
homecoming.
before homecoming.
Yeah,
Oh
Washington.
Lord.
Now he was decent. Washington, he had some good years. Bring me my money.
Sam Washington, bring me my money. I would have respected it more if they would have came and got him, but I see the vision, right? Younger coach, uh, bring some attention. So we'll see how it works. Of course, they said Bubba McDowell, Mitchell,
Yep,
Coach
Don't
Dishman.
forget
Dishman.
Steve Wilson at
I about to
Howard
say Steve
University.
Wilson over at Howard.
He had Ted White and he had Jay Walker.
Oh yeah. Look at over at Livingstone, Sean Gilbert.
Yeah,
Yep, yep. And then A&M, one of our better coaches, we had Anthony Jones.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
pretty
Anthony
good.
Johnson. Yeah,
He was real
Pete
good.
Richardson.
yeah. Pete Richardson.
Somebody says Sham Shade.
Yeah, Sam Shade. Sam Shade, he played. Yep.
Yeah,
Washington, when they were that other team name.
Man, yeah, I think it was the year. It was Sam Shea, Deion Sanders, Sean Taylor,
Yep. Fred
uh,
Smoot.
Fred Smoot. All of them
Yep.
was over there.
Yep.
Dan Snyder spent almost $200 some million, and they couldn't do nothing with that team at the
Nope.
time.
because
Nope.
he was the problem.
He was the problem.
He was the problem.
But y'all was talking about you was talking tomorrow. You was talking about Trey Boston, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I feel like if he want to coach, he can coach. I mean, he want to coach. I would sit down and weigh your options because it's only what
Shoot,
three openings.
anybody volunteering to go to Valley, they got there. I'm sold. If you volunteering to go coach at Valley,
They should hire Cornell Maynor.
You think Connell want to go over the Valley?
Yeah, I think he'll go over there.
I like Trey Boston to Valley.
The
I feel
first
like he's
name I
got.
thought though, first name I thought about with Valley was because A&T just fired him. Vincent Brown, he an alum from there. That was the first name I thought, but because I was like, well,
Why would you hire somebody who won 2 games in 2 seasons though?
but my thing is though, I'm saying he was an alum there, and it's Valley.
Uh,
You know,
Valley
they ain't,
still wants to compete.
I
Hey,
understand,
they
but
got a 3 star out of they just got a 3 star recruit. Of course, he was recruited by the other coach, but the coaching staff is still there. But hey, I feel like Valley. Anytime you beat FAMU, you building something over there.
Well, they were building something, and then Kendrick Wade got himself the hook for some comments that he was making.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't get fired for performance on the field.
Uh, you know what? Anybody can go to Valley. Shoot, like
I'm
Nah.
saying
Cornell
somebody
Maynor.
volunteering,
Cornell Maynor. Send
volunteering
Maynor
to
over there.
go. Get some fresh blood, Mister
I
Ford.
just think with the Valley
Dang, give him some
situation, you
fresh
just got to deal
blood.
with. I think with the Valley situation, you got to deal with the administration that I think hinders the whole process of you trying to build something over there.
Yeah, and Wade, he challenged them boys. He went to him and he told him. He said he told him. He said y'all got to make a full commitment. Now he didn't say it allegedly. He didn't say it very
Said
nicely.
that they need to have a conversation about protein and about the things that make a program. You know, there are
Right.
certain things that programs need. So, Mister Ford, you riding with Maina to
Yeah,
Valley?
riding with Maynor. Let Maynor go to Valley.
Hey, if he want to go there, if he want to,
Ooh, 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 ooh.
mm,
I'm just gonna be real with you.
you know,
Mike Vick, Deshaun Jackson, Ed Reed, who else? Eddie George. Who else? Who else wants to coach? It's Jackson State by 40. I'm just
uh,
saying. I'm interested to see how they're gonna do in recruiting. Doesn't the portal close in like 3 days?
The
yeah, or
28th,
2 days,
yeah,
28th,
28th.
28th, and
48
then
hours.
you have another one in April right after spring football. So yeah, once
These
this
folks
thing
are already at a
closes,
disadvantage because for real, you want some of these kids to be on campus in January so you can start getting them prepared with the what strength and conditioning.
yeah, you getting them ready because they'll go through spring practice with you and all that kind of stuff. But like I say, what always ends up happening is you'll have a guy who will transfer, get on campus in January. He'll go through spring practice, don't like his situation in spring practice, and then go get back in the portal to try to find some place to get into before fall camp. So you see a lot of these guys with the portal now. Y'all know this. It be dudes that be at three places in a one calendar year. They'll play a season, in the fall, then be like, all right, I'm getting in the portal. Then they'll show up in
Dang.
January. They'll go through spring practice with the new team. Then, oh man, I don't like this, man. I'm kind of back down on the depth chart. Then get right back in the portal in April and be on a new team's campus in July.
Hey, I got a question though. If you knew you gonna let go Coach Wade, why they didn't name an interim head coach
They
in,
did.
at that point? They did.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they named the interim, but how much power did they give him?
You guess what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody named an interim head coach, but how much power do you give them? How much authority do they get? You know what I'm saying? Like they just got like a token guy in place. I mean, look, he just pretty much a puppet.
Not a
That's pretty much what it
puppet.
is.
I mean, pretty much though, if you don't have no authority, what else are you? You just there. You a paid spokesman.
If I'm trying to give, I give no, no. I'm trying. I love the idea. I do. I love the idea, but you guys need to follow the real blueprint, the Jackson State blueprint. So all of these ads, I hope you guys are have your next in line already in waiting because you don't know
Hey,
when these
Did,
coaches are going to leave.
did y'all hear that two of North Carolina Central's coaches leaving Central to go to FAMU?
Yeah, I saw that.
Allegedly
Yeah,
they going.
There
yeah.
is
The
it's
offensive
confirmed.
line, offensive line, and the running back coach.
Coach Cozy got to get it together. Fam's
He
not
got a
getting
year.
ready to
Yeah.
the Ashley Robinson blueprint. He needs to write a book.
Hey,
How to
I
sustain
gave
a
him.
winning coaching a winning program after the exit of a celebrity NFL hire. How to keep it going.
Hey, I gave Ashley Robinson his flowers on my show Sunday night for real with that $2 that y'all adding to tickets, the season tickets, because like I said, those of y'all that follow me, I talked about how Tennessee is doing that 10% talent fee. And with all these added scholarships, Tennessee believes that it's going to add an additional 25 to 30 million dollars to their budget just to account for those additional scholarships. And so with this $2 fee that's being added to these tickets, I definitely think it's a wonderful thing because like a lot of these benefits they're not going to pay for themselves, man. And
What in the
so
hell is going? This is a setup. It's a setup. They're sending these NFL players to HBCUs, and I don't know why. Cause who is Hugh Douglas?
Hugh
He played
Douglas
for
used
the Eagles. He
Hugh
played for
Douglas
Billy Joe at Central State.
yeah, and he
He
played with the
said he wants
Eagles.
to be the head coach at Central.
Yeah, he played at Central State.
Yeah, he was All American at Central. He
Yep.
played for the Eagles and he played
Played
for
for
the
the Eagles.
Jets.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
he was
And
yeah.
dominant. He was dominant. I remember him.
he said Central, y'all are on the clock. What that mean? He's saying what is going on here? Let me go ahead and pull this up now.
Yeah, Hugh Douglas was a beast,
Yes,
man.
he was.
He was a linebacker. That dude could
Yeah,
hit, man.
He's these NFL players are trying to go get them a job. Okay, look. Well, with Hugh, I like that. Because he was there at Central. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He
It's
said,
a
yo,
difference
Central
when you
State.
it's a
Hmm.
difference when you are immersed in that culture. You know what to expect. You played in that locker room. You played on that field. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a difference because you have some sort of like connection to it. Now, Mike
Right.
Vick, his wife is a Hampton University graduate. He was actually at the Hampton Senior Ball, or yeah, Senior Ball with his wife back in the day. Whenever they had a Senior Ball at Hampton, he was her date there. So he's been around that type of culture. I just don't want for it to become a mockery. But Hugh Douglas said, "Yo, Central State, y'all are on the clock."
Yeah, Central State is about an hour from me here in Ohio. And there's a lot of opportunity there, and he's an alum from there. And somebody asked how old he is. He's 53 years old. 53 years old. Played in the NFL for over a decade. Also, he was a commentator. He called he called HBCU games for a minute. As a matter
he
of
was
fact,
on
he
the
was
radio
on.
here in Atlanta. He was
Yeah.
doing sports talk here for years.
Yep. So he's been in the culture. He's never gotten out of the culture. So like that stuff that he talking about with Central State, he for real. That ain't blowing smoke. They ain't
He's
blowing smoke.
isn't he Phi Beta Sigma?
I don't know about all that, but
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he's
he
Phi
must
Beta
be
Sigma.
because he said, "Yeah, frat, why you didn't put your name in the hat?"
Yeah, I think he's Phi Beta Sigma.
but yeah, Central State is in the SIAC. Somebody asked what
Yeah,
conference they're in. They're in the
Kevin Porter, who played at Auburn and I think played for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's the head coach up there.
yeah,
You can
SIAC.
look it up. Look it up, Miss Timona. His name is Kevin Porter. I think he's the head coach at Central
Uh
State.
oh. What you tell me to do, Mister
His name
Ford?
is Kevin Porter.
All right. Okay, Kevin Porter.
He's the head coach. He should be the head coach at Central State.
Yeah, he is. He's the current head coach.
Yeah,
He was drafted in the third round of the 1988 NFL draft. So
yeah. He's
that's
from.
nice.
I think he's from Warner Robins of Macon, Georgia, and he went to Auburn. And from Auburn, I think he went to Kansas City or somewhere.
So for me, I'm guessing It's not necessarily it's not necessarily the Deion Sanders blueprint.
Oh
Deion
yeah,
Sanders
Porter
just
got
made it.
fired. He got fired.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he just got fired.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
he just got fired. Yep.
Okay.
And somebody put it in the comments too. Yeah, I was just thinking. I said, yeah, he did. He did get fired.
When in the last 2 weeks?
Like about a month, about just over a month ago, he got fired because they wasn't winning. They wasn't winning.
Oh, so that's why.
Yeah, so that's why he
um.
was talking about that.
Okay, so let me read Mr. Porter's bio. He was named head football coach in December of 2021. Central State's athletic director Tara Owen emphasized the best interests of the student athletes throughout the process. He previously held a position as head coach at Fort Valley State. He led
Yeah.
the Wildcats to the 2016 SIAC championship and returned to the title game in 2017.
Hmm.
His 4-year tenure at Fort Valley State is considered to be one of the most successful eras in Wildcat football history. He earned SIAC Coach of the Year honors once and developed 19 All SIAC student athletes. He began his coaching career in the Arena Football League in 2000. He served as head coach as the Pensacola Barracudas in 2000, the Macon Knights from 2001 to 2003, and the Kansas City Brigade, from 2006 to 2018. He was the defensive coordinator for Mid America Nazarene University. So I think one of the things you can see here is that there's a lot of coaching experience, regardless, behind some of these coaches. Like,
Yeah.
he was a third round pick by the Kansas City Chiefs in the 1988 NFL Draft. He made an immediate impact during the first season, appearing in 15 games and making 7 starts. He was selected as an NFL All Rookie Team as a safety. He spent 6 years in the NFL, ending his career with the New York Jets. So,
Yeah,
this.
they fired him last month. I forgot that this is still December. Yeah, they fired him last month,
Okay,
right after the
so
season.
Hugh Douglas said, "Yo, Central State, y'all are on the clock.
Yep,
What's
yep,
up?"
yep. He was an alum, so he definitely would feel, that he's very qualified to coach his alma mater. We'll see. But like I said, they're about an hour from me here, hour south of me. So yeah,
It
Yeah,
was a
they're in
test
Xenia.
run,
What is
y'all.
it? Xenia, Ohio?
yeah,
It was a
Xenia.
test run,
Xenia.
y'all.
Yeah.
Yep, SIAC. That's where they play they ball at.
I forgot to add. Okay, so um, when someone tips, then you don't have to necessarily take a shot. Okay, so I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot that that was a way to keep everybody from drinking. Is when someone makes a donation that you don't have to take the shot. And since we have a donation that came through, y'all do not have to take shots when the donation comes through. Cause, 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 cause he gonna have us drunk on here. All right. So now that we see all of these, um, Mr. Ford, what do you think about A&T and Hampton?
Are they going to go
Should it
back
go back where? Isn't it too
to
late for
the
them to go back?
MEAC? I thought you was giving me some news that they were going back to the MEAC.
You're the one that gave us the news.
Well, I hadn't heard that. I'm thinking that it's a done deal for A&T. I think the alumni basically finished with that CAA stuff, and they want them to come back. Now, I don't know about. Like I said, I just heard it was conversation at Hampton, but I wish they would both go back.
Go on and lead them out of the wilderness. Tell them going back to the MEAC.
Yeah, and stop getting all that belt to ass.
Who's getting belt to ass?
Yeah,
Belt to who,
Hey,
Mr. Ford?
A&T had plenty of it these last couple years now.
they won two
Show
games in 2 years, right?
2
I,
games in 2 years. Yep.
but Mr. Ford, we said this a couple of times. They should have never left the Big South.
Yeah, I think they should have never left the MEAC.
That too.
Yeah. Where's your friend Dave at? I want him to say that competitive, that they've been competitive.
In basketball,
Yeah, football. You know,
Don't you? If
remember
you summon Dave, he's gonna have a
they
different
will pop
thing to
up
say
with his
now that they got Sean Gibbs
Sean
at the
Gibbs? Yeah.
helm. They're gonna be competitive.
And
Okay.
that was crazy with how they got Sean Gibbs. Cause when I was sitting there before I was at an event before the game down there in Atlanta at the Celebration Bowl, and I was talking to some of my A&T alums and some of the people that are close to the program. They said that they reached out to Sean Gibbs first to confirm that he wanted to come back before they went and raised the money to buy out Brown's contract. Because y'all know they raised just over $1 million to buy out the remaining of Brown's contract.
Right.
They said that's how it worked, man. I was like, man, because remember the AD it came out and said we believe we have the right coach, and then all it took was a we want Sean Gibbs, man, and they reached out and Sean Gibbs said, yeah, I'll come, and they said it didn't even take like 72 hours for them to raise $1.25 million. See you later, bye.
Dang!
Yep. See you later, bye, Brown. And the very next week, that's when you seen the press conference. I'm here to make chicken.
So when is the AD on his way out? He helped put him in a ditch.
Wait,
He needs to be on
what
his
needs to
way out.
happen?
The AD
Earl Hill, his name is Earl
yeah.
Hilton. He needs to be fired.
Lord, somebody said.
But yeah, that's how it
Why he
happened though. That's
got?
how it happened. Once they went to Gibbs said, yeah, I'm in. They said, all right, go get the money. Peace.
1.225 million
1.25 million.
in 72 hours is
Yep, look, it said,
insane.
and somebody in the comments, they ain't sell no fish plates neither.
Ooh.
That tell you how bad you know you were that bad that they said we will get the money. Don't worry, we will
So,
get the money.
so if they've got 1.25 in 72 hours, what is up with North Carolina A&T and a collective and the ability to get some talented players in there, or do you blame it on coaching? I'm gonna
It's
No,
ask
you
just
you.
blame it on the administration, Chancellor Martin and Earl Hilton. They put him in a ditch.
yeah, it was the administration that set that up, and it was a bad hire. It just wasn't never right, man. It just wasn't right. And Doc, you remember me and you talked about it when you came on my show. Remember when we talked right after Hampton smoked them during G-Ho?
oh yeah, they ain't want nothing. They was crying after that.
Yeah, so man, yeah, they just like I said, million of dollars to get back to the MEAC. But yeah, that's how it was though. Man, it just was a bad hire. Administration, they didn't do right. And you know, alums, they've been wanting to go back to the MEAC. They don't want to be playing some of them teams that they've been playing. But you know, it is what it is. I don't know
So,
about Hampton though. I don't
so
know.
a question in the chat. This is a good question. I'm gonna start with Doc and then go to Mr. Ford and then go to Wayne. Are these old traditional HBCU coaches out of touch with the Gen X recruits they are trying to get? So before I go to Doc, I will say this: Southern was able to do 8-4 this season. So and a lot of their coaches are definitely older coaches. So Doc, what do you think about this particular question? Are these old traditional HBCU coaches out of touch with the Gen X recruits they are trying to get?
I think part of it is true. But also, I mean, some coaches now, the coaches that we have now are, like you said, got to get younger and they can reach the younger generation. But at the same time, they got to still understand that this still is just a business first and foremost. First and foremost, but getting younger coaches to basically get in touch with the Gen X, I, I mean, I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it works wonders because who's going to be the next head coach? Who's going to be the next person that's going to be a head coach in line coming in waiting? Other people were saying like Teddy Bridgewater. He's only 32 years old. The man ain't even turned 33 yet. He just won a state championship down there in Miami at his alma mater. He unretired, went back to went to the NFL so he could try to get him a ring with the Detroit Lions. And when February comes back around, he's back to being Teddy Bridgewater, head football coach of Miami Northwest, Miami Northwestern. So you might have to see his name come up next year. Um, the other guy, Quinn Morgan, you might see his name come up, and he should be a head coach on the Division One level for what he's done at Langston. And I think he's in his 40s. So you got to be able to, you just got to be able to relate to these kids and what they want now.
Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and get Mr. Ford's what he feels. Mr. We're gonna go ahead and play this before because this is basically what all of the ADs in the MEAC and the SWAC and everywhere else are saying after Jackson State hired Deion Sanders. That he lost twice at the Celebration Bowl, but then you had TC Taylor come to the helm 2 years in, and he sweeps his conference and goes to the Celebration Bowl and get belt to ass. The ADs are all scrambling.
How you gonna fix it? You done messed me up the Dallas visit. I done called the police because I'm doing a refund. A refund is due unto me. Don't feel like I just been abused out here today. God ain't pleased with this. You can't do the Saints like this. Boy, I don't even know what I'm gonna sit out here till the police come. I'm gonna sit out here till the police come. I'm doing refund.
Mr. Ford,
Uh-huh.
the question is,
Mm-hmm.
do you think? Wait, let me find the question. I'm sorry. Are these old traditional HBCU coaches out of touch with these Generation X or Gen X recruits they're trying to get? Are they out of touch with them?
No, I don't see them as being out of touch. I think you need a mixture. I do like young coaches because at one time I was a young coach, but I do like the older coaches for their experience. And the older coaches teach the young coaches. I was taught by older coaches. So, no, I think it's a place for all of them. I think we need younger coaches, and I think we need older, experienced coaches also.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what Mr. Ford said. What I would say too is I think that uh, just as long as we don't get into the whole path of having these recycled coaches, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you've seen a lot of these recycled coaches and you've seen how this stuff ends. Um, and I think that you need to have that experience on your staff because it's valuable. Um, a lot of like, especially like Mike Vick and some of like these younger coaches or these newer coaches that are taking over, you definitely need some of these guys to, help you with managing a program, guys that have been there. So yeah, and as far as the recruiting standpoint, um, I think it's situational. I mean, it's situational for everybody. Whether you a new coach, a younger coach, older coach, veteran, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's very situational. So yeah. Yep. That's how I feel.
I like that Dr. Kenesha said, I hope we don't give up on traditional coaching hires completely, just as much as I
Right.
pray the portal doesn't stop player development. So, this is
Yeah.
what I will say when we talk about when we do a SWOT analysis on hiring of young NFL coaches, one of the weaknesses is, of course, like Mr. Ford said, that they don't have uh, the experience. Just because you played in the NFL doesn't mean when it's game time and you are at the Celebration Bowl and you're having to make those key decisions that you're able to do it. And I think that that's why there's balance. So when I look at Coach TC's staff, right? Coach TC by himself has, I don't know, 15 years worth of coaching experience. There's a couple of coaches on there that have 10 plus years coaching experience. And then you have some younger guys who literally have 2 years or they're grad assistants. And I like the fact that there's a mixture, but also I like what Coach TC does with his coaching staff, which he says that you are the head coach of your position. So basically, if you're a linebacker, you approach those young men that are underneath you as that is your head coaching position. If you're special teams, that is you're basically the head coach of special teams. You're basically the head coach of the quarterbacks. And what he's doing is he's developing good coaches. He's allowing them to shine and learn. And then he has the experience overall from working under at North Carolina Central, from working at Coahoma Community College, from working at Jackson State, from being a quarterbacks coach, and all the different levels of coaching, or Coach O, who was an offensive line coach, tight ends coach, general manager, assistant head coach. Like the melding of coaching experience and then the newness and freshness of these young coaches who can relate to these kids, it is a mixture that if I'm trying to build a program, I want to model the blueprint after Coach TC, not necessarily NFL hires. So if I'm going to do NFL hires and you don't know how dedicated they are, I'm going to, as the AD Robinson did, I'm going to request that there are certain people stay on the staff or that they add certain people to the staff who can take over when that NFL player decides to leave. That's what I'm going to do. People are looking at just the Deion Sanders footprint of hiring that type of hire, but you're not looking at behind the scenes on who was on his coaching staff. And that I think that the transition, although it was really hard, the fact that Coach O and Coach TC had been on that staff since at minimum 2018, they already had all of their connects in the state of Mississippi. They already had those coaching trees developed. They already had those relationships. If you look during Deion Sanders' era, he did not necessarily recruit Mississippi players.
Mhm.
He didn't.
Yeah,
There was
he
a
didn't.
reduction. It was a reduction in Mississippi players. And I like the trajectory that Jackson State is going. And so for me personally, and we're gonna see how this pans out in the next 2 years. It's gonna be interesting to see if these NFL coaches are in it for the long haul, like a Eddie George, who's been very successful but not been able to garner support, fan support. So, Mr.
Yeah.
Ford, how you gonna get the fan support, Mr. Ford? Because
Okay, say it again. How we gonna get what
Tennessee
now?
State, Tennessee State has Eddie George at the helm.
Right, but the alums don't like the people they're playing.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
I told you my I have a niece at Tennessee State, and she said that the big game for Tennessee State the last 3 years for her has been when they play in Memphis and they play Jackson State. She said everybody was so upset when Deion cut that game. They were so mad. But she said that was the big game for them. It wasn't homecoming. The big game was for the Tennessee State students, was for them to come together, get in their little cars and ride over to Memphis. And, get about 5 or 6 of them together, and they buy the hotel room and then go to the Liberty Bowl for the Southern Heritage Classic.
Yeah. Yep. I saw somebody had put in the comments, they were asking about Hampton, about their probation. They were asking what do I know, and also what does Mr. Ford know about Hampton? Yeah, so what I do know about Hampton, and it's correctly placed in the comments, that they were forced to vacate wins for 3 particular seasons.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, for 3 particular seasons. And what it was is during the COVID era or area during the COVID time, just say during COVID time, uh, they had improperly certified a couple of players. So they had one kid who transferred in from another school, and he hadn't properly completed 24 semester hours from his previous school, and he still played games in the program. And they also had another kid who didn't designate, he did not designate a major prior to the start of their junior year. So you had those kind of oversights that typically would be caught by your compliance department
That's
if
why
your
I say
compliance department was doing its job.
right.
And
It's the
what
compliance.
Right, and their their reasoning, kind of an excuse, was we had a reduction of staff. We had a reduction of staff due to COVID. You know what I'm saying? Because, and they said, well, but so they had to vacate those wins. It was under former head coach Robert Prunty.
And that's why
So
he
that's
was
what it was.
dismissed. That's why he
Yep.
was dismissed.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, so the wins that they had this season doesn't that they still keep those right there from 24. So it's basically anything prior back front to, like you said, last season I went like back to, you said 21,
21,
21.
21, 20, 21, 22, and 23.
Yeah.
Yep. But yep, they had an ineligible player, 2 ineligible players in football. And also they had the same problem in some other sports.
Yeah, they had, I think it said something in basketball, men's basketball, women's basketball. I
Yep.
think it was some other
Track and field.
track and field. So it was some other sports. I know I read about that this morning before I got myself ready for work. But yeah, the reason why the NCAA didn't hammer them like they supposed to, because
They didn't get any type of.
they didn't get any type
They
of,
just
because
got
they,
their wins vacated. There's no
yeah, but they
penalties.
self-reported though.
Yeah,
Right.
and they do.
And you self-reported, and you get, and you say, and you tell the NCAA, hey, we messed up right here.
Mhm.
Please don't punish us as much.
Right. But they're on a 3-year probation. 3-year probation. And I'm not sure if it's a reduction of scholar. I think it is. I think it's a reduction of scholarships also.
Is one, I think it's a 1% reduction in, I think, I don't, is, yeah, 1% reduction in scholarship. So it really, they really got off light. That's
They
the main,
sure did. Cause
they got off light. And that's why I said, once, when you self-report something to the NCAA, the NCAA is gonna look at it like, okay, you got control of what happened. So that's the reason why it's not gonna be what we call lack of institutional control.
mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah. It was for 2 players in football. And I said, dude that transferred in didn't complete 24 semester hours at his previous school. Something that you would have easily caught with compliance. So yeah. He said, was it self-imposed? Sometimes NCAA would let that ride. Now, all blacks comment there. Sometimes they'll let that ride. Now they'll let it ride depending on the school.
Yeah, power forward. They would have slapped him on the hand. They would have
Yep.
slapped him on the hand.
Yep.
Well, like you, I mean, they can also fine them $100,000, and that's a drop in the bucket. $100,000 fine for HBCU would be detrimental to the program. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, you just play a payment game in basketball, play a couple basketball games, a couple power
Thornton
fours.
said, I tried that self-reporting shit with my father, and guess what I got? Belt to ass.
Well, I know Jackson State opens the season with Hampton coming to the vet.
Mr. Ford, what you think about Hampton not coming? The Hampton and Jackson State not being in Chicago.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I wanted the game to be in Chicago, but with it being in the vet, that should be a big game. I hope it's a night game. I hope it's not a day game.
Oh, it got to be a night game on August 30th. It got to
Yeah, that's
be.
what I'm saying. I hope it's not a
Oh
day.
yeah, it's hot. It's hot as hell during that time.
There you go,
Mm.
baby. I hope it's a night.
They dropped the ball.
So that was supposed to have been the Chicago Football Classic. Is that what that was supposed to have been?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Allegedly,
Okay.
allegedly. I want to see the classic. I mean, at this point, if we're talking about making dollars and rejuvenating HBCU football, especially in the MEAC, that Delaware State versus Norfolk State, that is a easy classic, right? Because you're going to be playing up two former Philadelphia Eagles going head to head.
right.
Easy money right there. Easy.
Oh yeah,
And I said, for Jackson State, us being the reigning HBCU national champs, have your AD call our AD. Y'all schedule some type of classic or whatever, as long as all expenses are paid and we come home with 1.25 in the bank, we'll come and we'll show up and we'll show out.
I'd like to see Delaware State and Norfolk State be flexed to like Friday night. They get their audience. Of course, we have to put up with Jay Walker for 4 quarters, but you know, I still would like to see that thing be flexed where they had their own little time where it be on ESPN or
They're
well in this
saying they
case.
might get an upgrade on TV. So do you think that MEAC should be trying to renegotiate their media rights, especially if we talk about North Carolina A&T probably coming through?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, that's something you always got to be doing regardless. And it's kind of interesting that you bring that up because okay, yeah, Dr. Hall, I got you. I got you. All right. So yeah, I got you. Okay, now back to my point. So, something that I stay very skilled on is just studying like these television contracts. Now, what I'm getting ready to say, no, I'm not. No, I'm not saying that we need to be like the Big Ten, but just stay with me. The Big Ten, their current contract, they're in the second year of a 7-year, $7.8 billion contract with they have their rights split amongst they have it on CBS, NBC, and Fox. And of course, they also have the Big Ten network, right? So one of those type of deals that I think that we need to be trying to get into. It's a shame that HBCU Go doesn't have more of a standard sitting on a channel. Now I know they have the Grio, but the Grio is not available on like YouTube TV or other things like that. What I'd love to see like both the SWAC and the MEAC be able to get to a point where they have a deal where they've got its own kind of network that's tangible, because right now we don't have any shows where you can actually go and watch highlights of a SWAC or a MEAC game. I mean, like full in depth. You got people sitting in the studio going over it just kind of like they do on all these other networks. Now, to think that they're gonna get like a big network like a CBS or anything like that, you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? You're not
Ultimately,
gonna get that.
if I'm Mike Vick, I'm definitely pulling on Fox Sports for a 3 hour covering
Yeah, now
of
you
just
can
off
get
just off of the strength of I've
he
been
can
here for
get
X,
them to
Y,
come
and Z.
there and do big noon kickoff like pregame on Norfolk State campus. He can definitely get that because you know they did that for Deion in Colorado, right? I definitely know that. You can also get ESPN to come, maybe depending on what game you have, what week they have, to come and do game day on your campus, kind of like what they did at Jackson State. But the pure point of what I'm saying is that the SWAC and the MEAC, they need to be able to negotiate their rights where they've got the ability to have more extended coverage. Because this whole thing of we only got games on we got games on ESPN Plus where it's hit and miss. The signal is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then also MEAC, they've done some of their games on this other platform called Flow Sports. So I think where we got to get to, we got to be able to get
Flow
to a
Sports
network.
is not.
It ain't. It's
Flow,
not it. It's not it.
Flow Sports. I looked at the boards. Like if you look at some of these boards where the folks who are, you know, in other CAA schools, they say Flow Sports is not it.
Yeah. So
Outside
for
of the fact that
me,
you can negotiate local deals. Like you are able to put it on your local channels. You're able to do that, but Flow Sports as a whole is not a good deal.
yeah. So for me, you know, I think that they got to get to a channel that's on basic on all these cable packages, and it may have to be like how it was on BET, but you can find a channel that's out there. I don't know if it's own, I don't know what it is, but you got to find a channel that you can actually have that people can tangibly watch our information, and you have actual studio shows also, it was also mentioned as well. Uh, you know, a lot of these other networks, you're able to go back and watch some of these classic games. Classic SWAT games, classic MEAC games, classic Celebration Bowl games. That would be good to have. So, this is something that we need to try to generate some discussions around. There's no absolute solution that I can give, but I'm just giving a concept of ideas that we can possibly get to if we had some of the smarter folks get in the room and actually really talk about this. Now, in terms of numbers, you know, I mean, you can come up with some numbers, but one thing you got to be able to get to first is you got to be able to get to some kind of a template that resembles an actual network, working capital, like where we can watch our basketball games. If you want to watch some volleyball games, if you want to watch some baseball games, just something that gets more of this coverage beyond what we have now. Because uh Swag Digital Network, I've heard a lot from people. They said it's hit and miss. The signal is weird. You know what I'm saying? And then also,
You go, but they've only invested
right,
so much.
right.
And at the end of the day, which it's true, it's based off of viewership.
Yeah.
Orange G talks about before we talk about contracts, attendance is horrible, and I just want to point out that attendance is down across the board, and at Power Five, Power Four, everywhere attendance is down.
Mm-hmm.
But for when we talk to these TV folks, they don't really care about your attendance in the stand. They're more concerned about
They
how
care
many
about the
people are
ratings.
watching.
Yeah, you care
How
about
Because
many people
ratings.
are
these bowl
watching?
games that
How
ESPN
many
owns right now,
impressions?
ESPN, they don't care about the attendance. They care about the fact that you're watching. These games they had on the day, listen, that game that they had on the day, the first one, the one in Detroit, that went 6 overtimes, they were selling tickets for as low as $3.
Cause you trying to get people to come
$3.
up in there.
Exactly. But
$3 tickets.
$3. But they care about the ratings. And people were watching. This time of year, ain't nothing really first run on TV. Everything reruns. So you know what I'm saying? You a sports fan, you gonna turn on, you gonna watch some of these bowl games.
But it's another thing too, Wayne. If you really think about it, like even though the attendance is low in the stands, if the people are watching the games on the TV, there's your ratings right there. There's your
Bingo.
ratings. But also
Bingo.
too, and here's another thing too. Some people don't have ESPN Plus. So guess where they go get their viewing from? They view it from us.
Yep. Yep.
If we putting the game on, that's where they watching it at.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Troy. Yeah. Troy. AT&T. Yeah. Troy. Yeah. The MEAC. Yeah. MEAC. They've shown games. They don't have an agreement with Flow Sports. You're right. Only when they play at the CAA schools. But still, that's another avenue that people can watch games. But yeah, to your point there, I'll say with ESPN Plus, you're right. And everybody don't have it. But for those that do have it, we definitely do utilize it. But we just need to get to a better solution. Because I really, really like HBCU Go. I know a lot of people like it.
Ooh, come up with. I'm sorry. I love I am so sorry. I see somebody here. I want him up here. Come up here, A&T Roy. Are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Oh
are you
Lord.
familiar with A&T Roy? Are you familiar with him, Wayne?
Yeah, he's been on my show before.
Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford, I know you ain't went to sleep. That's another drink. No, I'm just kidding. Y'all done put Mr. Ford to sleep. All right. A&T, Roy, come here for a second. We got some questions to ask you. Wayne said y'all raised 1.25 million in 75 hours.
That's true.
Oh, there's Mr. Ford. There
That's
you
true.
are. You, Mr. Ford, you told us they raised the money. You didn't say they raised it in less than 3 days.
I didn't know the time limit, but I know they raised the money, and the that was the give, and the take is they need to return to the MEAC.
Oh, that's not your saying, Mr. Ford. You have to say your saying.
Take your ass back to the MEAC.
Hey man.
I'm just playing.
Y'all can name Sam Shade, man. Y'all gonna name Sam Shade over there at A&M.
What's up,
We'll
A&T
see.
Roy? Come on, A&T Roy. Come on up here.
Yeah, come on in there. Come on in here,
A&T
Troy.
Roy.
Come
What's
on,
happening?
Troy.
Can you hear me?
Hey,
Yeah,
listen
we
to
can hear
the
you.
blacks.
Oh, you know what? My TV is behind you all.
Oh, well, turn it off.
Yep. So y'all not
Just
gonna
to
see my
let you.
face because my phone's about to die.
Well, go plug your phone up.
It's
We got
plugged
this.
up, but you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. So, Mr. A&T, um, so you can be a representative for North Carolina A&T. Are y'all gonna be competitive this year?
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't like Ford speaking for us. I know that.
You
I
don't
don't
like
speak
Mr.
for
Ford
y'all.
speaking for you.
I
Mr.
don't
He
Ford
speak for
not
quiet.
y'all.
He
speak for
quiet.
y'all.
He don't want to say nothing now.
All
Mr.
right,
Ford
so
not speaking for y'all. So
yes,
that's why I
he
brought
talking
you
about
up here. So you
he
can
talking
speak
about
for
we need to
yourself.
fire our AD. He talking about we need to
Oh,
fire our AD.
hey, that's common sense. He
No,
put
it's
you in
not.
this ditch.
No, it's not. Hey, listen, my school is about much more than just football. Um, yeah, we're down right now because we knew we were going into a conference that was we were behind in a whole lot of things, budget, facilities, support personnel, all that stuff. So we know what we're doing. We know we got to build up. Now, I will say that unfortunately, Vince Brown, man, he was an epic failure in terms of what he in the time he was at A&T.
You said y'all was gonna beat the blacks.
Oh, hey,
Okay, Sam Washington a epic failure?
so okay. Let me straighten you out
Was he
on
fired
Sam
here?
Washington. No,
Was he an
Uh-oh.
epic failure?
Oh
let me
boy.
straighten you out on Sam Washington, Coach Washington. Coach Washington was 30 some years coaching in HBCU land. He wasn't very happy with even going to the Big South. As I understand it, and this might not be this ain't 100%. Our chancellor was not okay with having a coach that wasn't really fully in on what we were doing. So they parted ways because of that. And of course, Vince Brown, already coaching in those circles and all that stuff, was at the time a better fit for being comfortable that he was okay coaching in the CAA. Now, Sean Gibbs was actually the second in line in terms of the choices we had, but at the time, Sean had only had 1 year of head coaching experience, and that was at a D2, and he had just been a running backs coach. So when you look, and I think all of you would do this, right? If you're trying to choose between two people, one who coached in the conference, was a defensive coordinator, coached in the NFL, coached on a national championship team, in comparison to a guy who only coached running backs and was a recruiting coordinator and 1 year as a head coach at a D2, I'm going to almost say you would all choose Vince Brown, right?
I don't know, man.
You
I don't
sound
know.
just like Dave. You got a lot of excuses. You sound just
No,
like
no, 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 no. I'm asking you a question.
you do.
Based
No,
on those resumes, who would you choose?
I wouldn't have
Hey,
left a MEAC.
No. Forget it. I'm past that. Based
honestly,
on us being in the CAA, which one of those would you choose?
honestly, Troy, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Sean Gibbs, he was a running back coach there for 11 years, though. 11 years. So he was, he was at the school, man, 11 years before going to Fort Valley. So that's why I'm just saying, I don't know if it's as clear cut as you described, man.
Well, I'll say this: you're the first person who didn't say, "Yep, I would have chosen Vince Brown."
But
You
like
the
I
one that
said,
said y'all was gonna beat up on all the blacks last year.
Yeah, I was wrong. That was the first
Y'all
time I
beat
was
up
wrong all
on
year.
Hampton and who else said they beat up on?
They ain't beat up on nobody but Winston
That
Salem.
was
they
that
ain't
was my
even beat up
first.
on
That's
them.
the.
They had to go to overtime with them.
Oh yeah, we barely won that jank. Hey, listen, we were sitting on pins and needles when we were kicking that field goal to tie the game. But um, so yeah, you're the only one that's not saying you would have chosen Vince Brown, even knowing what Sean Gibbs had in terms of the time he was at A&T. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I brought up Troy before you came on. I talked about how y'all raised that money. As soon as y'all knew you had Sean Gibbs in hand, said, well, we gonna go ahead on, we gonna get this 1.25. See you later, bye, Vince Brown.
Are
Yeah.
y'all?
I don't know exactly how that all went down and how it all happened, but yeah, I kind of understand they raised the money somehow. Now I don't know if some of it came from the school and some from donors or however that worked, but they
So
did
how
whatever
you
they
gonna be
needed to
an
do.
A&T insider and you don't know how it worked, but you don't like Mr. Ford stating
Well,
obvious
I'm
things
I'm
about
not I'm not in on everything. Just like I bet you can ask Dave, he's not in on everything. So
it. Listen,
we find
listen,
out stuff as we find it out.
listen. Are y'all
Hmm.
gonna beat up on the whites this next year? Because that's what's more important than beating up on the blacks. It's beating up on the whites in your conference. Because if you're
Well, you know
not,
what?
you need to take your ass back to the MEAC.
Hey, you know what? Listen, I will tell you all. I was really just having fun on Beat the Blacks. I knew it was gonna be a firestorm. But I tell you what, come August 15th, once we're in training camp, I'm gonna give my prognostication.
Oh man.
You
I mean,
don't want to say
look,
nothing now.
we don't know what Sean is gonna bring in. I mean, I haven't seen anything yet, so we need to wait and see what players we got once they start training camp.
They said them
Then I
eight
can
and a
say
half and 11s have been making a mockery out of North Carolina A&T football.
8.5 and 11s. What's that?
What's an 8.5 by 11? What is that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So hey, listen, this foolishness is gonna stop. You can best bet that it's
When?
gonna stop.
Are y'all gonna
When?
be
Take their ass
competitive?
back to the MEAC.
Ah,
Hey,
dang!
I'm not gonna say 100%, but I highly doubt we're coming back to the MEAC. But I will tell you this:
Well,
if
if
we
them people
do,
gonna put
if we
belt to
do,
ass from now on, then
no. See, we not being defeatist like that. We're raising our programs. And let me tell you this: this move was about more than just athletics. Man, listen, we are in metropolitan statistical areas like nobody else has ever been. New York, Philadelphia, Boston, the largest markets on the East Coast. And guess what many of those schools have? They have local deals that every weekend, both basketball and football, commercials are run locally, advertising North Carolina A&T. You know how many students we're getting out of this? That we're going to start getting for people learning about who and what North Carolina A&T is all about?
Y'all already get enough applications that you can't even accept everybody that applies. So to me, that's really kind of like a non-starter because North Carolina A&T gets enough applications, so much so that they can't actually even accept those students. Then on top of that, you guys have too many out. You recently had too many out of state students coming in that you didn't have the balance for in-state. So that's a non-starter for me talking about getting certain students because you guys already have that under the bag.
You know
Are
what
y'all
that does,
so
though?
you guys are
You know
gonna
what that
keep
does?
losing every season? You're gonna keep losing every single season just so that you can run commercials in Virginia? Come on now.
Oh, no, no, no,
That's
no,
not
no, no, no. But you know what that does. Matter of fact, guess what? Last year we had 47,000 applications. Now I will tell you, a lot of that comes through the Common App, right? But this year we are on track to do more than 50,000 applications. So what it does for us is it gives us a much bigger opportunity to be more selective and to get higher performing kids. Which then,
what you
guess
gonna
what?
do about losing though, A&T Roy? What you gonna do about
I'm,
losing?
I'm responding to your point about being a non-starter, and I'm gonna come back to what we're gonna do about losing. We putting things in place so that we stop all this losing. Watch us. Listen. Watch us work. And let me tell you this: they don't really want us to come back to the MEAC because guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna dominate both the
Nothing.
MEAC
Nothing.
and the
What they
SWAT.
gonna do, Mr. Ford?
We're gonna come back and dominate the MEAC
they can
and the
rebuild.
SWAT.
If they come back to the MEAC, they can rebuild that program
Well, what they gonna be doing
because
for the
that
rest of
program
the
is on the
year?
ground. That program is zero. They below zero right now.
They below
Not below
zero?
zero.
Yeah, they below zero.
Oh man, below zero. Dang.
Yeah, that program
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
You the laughing stock
So
of HBCU football.
Whoop.
hey, listen,
Everybody wants you
listen.
to be their homecoming
We
opponent.
we we've been worse than this. We went 0 and
Hey, yo.
27 at one point. Hey, we know how to come out of doldrums. We've been 0 and 27 two times, 2 seasons, no wins. Another season with just 4 or 5. So this is nothing for us. We've done this. But guess what else we
Okay.
have? But guess what else we have? We got the greatest dynasty ever in HBCU football, untouched,
how, how,
untouchable, probably.
how but what's that dynasty doing for you now though? That's a real question. What's that
Oh, you
dynasty
know
doing
what?
for you now?
Yeah. So Sean Gibbs is gonna go some people. He's gonna get some people's in their living room. He gonna tap those rings on the table. I'm a championship coach. I was here when we did the best that's ever been done, and watch him come.
Can I ask a
Who
question real
dominated?
quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
With the Sean Gibbs hire, how many championships do you see them winning within the next 4 years?
In the CAA or if they
Yes.
go back to the MEAC? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I gotta wait and see.
You know,
He's
you
an,
can think.
he's an
Think.
apologist. He ain't got nothing definite. I told
Who?
you, you're an
Okay,
apologist. What
okay,
you are? You're like Dave and them. You make excuses.
okay. Let me ask a question back. With the Mike Vick hire at Norfolk State, how many championships you see
Next
them
year.
winning in 4 or 5 years?
They will be in the
Next year.
Celebration Bowl next season. I can tell you off the rip right here, right? Straight off the rip. It's that quickly. It's not even a thought about it. He will be in the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia next year versus Jackson State.
what
And
school
getting
do you
belt
go to?
to ass.
What school do you go to?
Did you
Who's
hear
your
what I
school?
just said? Respond to that. You will see Michael Vick in Atlanta, Georgia next year. You will see
I
Michael
know, I
Vick
know, I
in
know.
Norfolk State versus Jackson State if Ed Reed is, no, excuse me, if he's not hired at Alabama A&M. You will see
Wait,
Jackson
wait,
State
wait.
versus Norfolk State in Atlanta. That will be your
What
championship game.
school? What school do you go to?
You
What's
didn't
your school?
respond to the question. I
I
just
did. I
told
did.
you that
I
you will see
responded to
Michael
every
Vick
question.
back in Atlanta, Georgia next season in the MEAC versus the
I
SWAT defending champions who will
I
be looking to
responded to
retain their
your question.
championship from. Say it again.
I responded to your question. I said I don't know. Now I want to know what
Okay,
school
okay,
you
okay.
are with. What school are you with?
I am a Jackson State supporter, sir.
Oh, so you Jackson State saying that Michael Vick is going to be in the Celebration Bowl with
Correct.
Norfolk State next year?
Correct.
He is not a supporter. Don't listen to that.
I will say this again, and you can bet your bottom dollar on this. Mark all you want, say what you want, believe what you want. I'm not here to convince anybody anywhere. I'm just saying, document this. Make sure you save this. You next season, I guarantee you, you will see Jackson State with the way that they're recruiting, with their recruiting level. You will see Jackson State versus Norfolk State. That will be a game in the Celebration Bowl next season.
Oh, hey! You said it. Okay, I get you. I get you.
Hey, I want to
We'll
ask you
see.
all the. I want to ask you all of the North Carolina A&T questions. I want to ask you those questions because you don't want folks speaking on your school. So we need you to answer all the questions. So answer his
So yeah,
question. How
I
many? How many seasons do you think? No, in the next 4 years, do you think that North Carolina A&T will win a championship in the CAA?
okay. I'm gonna say it again. I don't know.
You
I
don't know
have
the
to go.
answer.
I have to go year by year to see who we bring in before I make any prognostication for each individual year. Now, and again, I can still be wrong, just like I was about all the blacks. Matter of fact, I didn't even say all the blacks. I said we're gonna beat the blacks,
Yes, you
but we
did.
only
You
beat
said we're
one.
gonna beat up on the blacks.
I
Do you
know,
want
but
me to
I ain't
prove
say
it?
all of them. We beat one of them.
You literally said we're gonna beat up on all the blacks. That's literally what you
Okay.
said. You said
Okay. Well,
we probably won't win the other games, but we're gonna beat up on the blacks.
I can see
that was the only thing I got wrong all year.
I can see Maximilian actually sitting in his chair right now looking just like that saying that.
Hey, what school is Maximilian with? What school he with?
The Jackson
Why
State
you?
University. And don't let him play
Oh
with
yeah.
it. Don't
Hey,
play
listen,
with it.
let me tell you Jackson State folks something. You are 0 and
Oh,
3 against us. You are 0 and 3 against us all time.
Y'all won't schedule us. Your AD is ducking our AD. You will not schedule anything with us. We can
Yeah,
get a Charlotte, North Carolina Classic right now. Right
we're
now.
primarily using our out of conference games against our MEAC rival teams like Norfolk, North Carolina Central, and South Carolina State. Now, if we go outside of that, we may not. But hey, listen,
Please don't.
if we come back to the MEAC, you can bet your bottom dollar we're gonna come and take down whatever SWAC school is in there.
Are you
Oh
guys gonna
boy.
take down these schools, but when you play them in your newly minted PWI conference, you guys are getting your ass beat by the same schools that you claim you can beat if you're in
Well, you know what?
conference.
Until this year, we beat everybody but North Carolina Central. We beat South Carolina State. We beat Norfolk. But this year, hey,
You only won
it was
two
terrible.
games in 2 years.
I know, but last year we didn't play South Carolina State. We only
What's
lost
your
to
record against your MEAC opponents since you left the MEAC?
um, we lost 3 to North Carolina Central and 1 to South Carolina State. So we're probably like 4-4, I think. But 3 of those to North Carolina Central. They've had quarterbacks that beat us, and we didn't have a quarterback.
You didn't have a quarterback. You didn't have a running back, an offensive line, a defensive
No, no, no,
line,
no, no. Listen,
linebacker,
our running
special
backs are fine.
teams.
Our
Come on,
issue,
come
our
on,
issue has
come
been quarterback. Listen, when we had the greatest dynasty ever in HBCU football, we had 3 of our best ever quarterbacks come through. And matter of fact, one of them is arguably the best. But and I think you all will agree with this, man. The quarterback position is pivotal in what you do in winning football games. Matter of fact,
on. Put some bass
Jackson
in your
State's
voice.
quarterback
He said,
played
"Put some
very
bass in
well.
your voice." A&T Roy, put some bass in your voice. Talk with
Mm,
some more
mm, mm,
confidence. You
mm,
embarrassing them
mm,
I know
mm.
grades.
this. I know this. I know Ford is wrong about our AD. Man, that dude has won so much stuff. We've done so many things it ain't even funny.
You won 2 games in 2 years.
Oh no, no,
The
no, 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 no.
baseball
Hey,
team
listen,
done
listen,
lost
listen. Hey,
I think 9 or 10 years in a row.
that's not true.
Check your
That's not true.
baseball schedule. Check your baseball record for the last 10 years.
That's not true. I'm not gonna check it. I know that's wrong. Hey, listen, y'all don't listen to Johnny Thornton. He mad. That's one of them North Carolina Central kids. He just mad because we dominate them. They our little sibling. We they daddy. We gonna hey
Yeah,
we gonna
y'all
put
forget they
we
put
gonna put
66 on you this year, didn't they?
yeah they
Didn't they
did.
put
Hey, listen,
66 on you?
they did. But
Yeah, you ain't dad.
in 18 and 19 we beat them 99 to nothing, 99 to 0. So this Saturday y'all need to be on CBS to watch North Carolina A&T put it on North Carolina Central.
Well, you can't put us on your homecoming because our band is coming. Y'all won't Hampton us.
Oh yes we will.
No, we
Yes
were
we
not.
will.
Nuh-uh. You can't. The
Well, you
Sonic
know
Boom
what?
of the South
Y'all
is.
can buy the tickets. Y'all can buy the $200 per
Ain't
ticket.
nobody paying. The band is not paying to play. See, that's poor. That's definitely. You guys have went away from HBCU culture. That's poor man's dealing right there. Charging the band to come. Y'all
Hey, you
better
know
schedule us
the
in a.
reality is,
Y'all better schedule us in the Panther Stadium or something. You over here
yeah,
talking about selling tickets.
the reality is that HBCU bands don't travel nearly as much as they used to, and so we just
Jackson State
for the most
does.
part, no, you don't.
Jackson State does.
Y'all do not
I
go to all your away games.
We only didn't go to one away game this year. I want to say, what was it?
No, no, no. Don't
UAPB.
want to say. I want you to be
UAPB.
right.
I am. We didn't go to UAPB.
You play UAPB at home this year.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, then we
uh,
went. Then we went everywhere.
yeah. Well, you know what? You
We
might be an
even went
outlier,
to.
but
We even
most
went to
don't go.
ULM. We went to ULM. The only reason why they couldn't stay the whole time was because there was some thunderstorms. Yeah, BCU. I knew it was. It's only one. Usually every football season, Jackson State or Sonic Boom of the South is at every single game except for one. So it was
Okay,
Yep.
so
between.
you might be an outlier, but most schools do not
Yeah,
travel
we
like that.
are we are the Sonic Boom of the South and the Jackson State University. Our HBCU culture, our bands are just as immersed in our football culture. Hell, last year Jackson State was in New York City at I want to say Jackson State was playing in New York or something like that for basketball. We were in New York City and we were at a basketball game at Jackson State, and I think they were on tour with Drake. I mean, the Boom kind of like had three different bands playing all over the country. And I'm not trying to brag, I'm just telling the truth. Like, I think that North Carolina A&T has kind of shifted away. Now, I did go to a basketball game at is it Corbin? A women's Yeah,
Club
Corbett.
Corbett.
I went to the women's basketball game when they were in the playoffs last year, and it was electrifying to see. And there you could definitely still see the HBCU culture there. I haven't went to a football game, but what I'm saying is this: you are basically saying that you are sacrificing that historic, dominant North Carolina A&T football history to be in the CAA, and you're not going to win a CAA championship just to be on commercials in Virginia. And like, that doesn't make sense. You can be on those commercials without sacrificing your football team.
No, no, no. It's not just Virginia.
Take
I
your
said New
ass.
York.
But anyway, any other questions for Mr. A&T Roy, because he keeps ducking and dodging them? You got any more
I didn't
questions?
duck and dodge. I answered the question. Y'all just don't like
You
my
said you
answer.
don't know. Yet last
I
year you
don't
was
know.
telling us you was
So
gonna
so
be over
Okay,
it.
basically
ask
ask you
Wayne. Ask Wayne what he thinks about
so
his team. What y'all
basically
gonna do?
so so basically ask you the question in August then.
Yes.
Is that
Matter of
what you're
fact, guess
saying?
what? Yes. And matter of fact, even Aggies ask. We got a pro board, right? It's called Blue Death Valley or whatever it is. And so they put up a question around how many games y'all think we're gonna win. And I say every year, I gotta wait until we see who we have before I say what I think we might do. You can't do it. Man, listen, what if Sean Gibbs brings in a transfer 5-star quarterback who wants to come back home? What if we bring in a Power 5 running back that did well, but had some issue with a coach and loves one of our coaches? I don't know the answer to that. It's ridiculous to try to make any prognostications before you get some idea what players you're going to have,
You
especially going
said
out
you
three
was
or
gonna
four
beat all
years.
the blacks. You made that
Well, that was last year, and I was
prognostication.
wrong. I said I was wrong. I was wrong. Hey, that's again. Now that was the only time I was wrong all year long. One time out of like 1,000 things that I said.
He did say y'all was going. You said y'all was going to beat North Carolina Central. I got
Well,
the
they were the blacks.
footage.
That was part of the blacks.
I got the
Hey,
footage to prove that.
you're right, but that was part. They were part of the blacks. So I didn't go outside of what I'm saying. But listen, now, here's what I want you to do, Timona. Every time you or somebody on your show use the term the blacks, I want y'all to send me $5. You using my term.
Well, since you got your ass beat by all the blacks, you need to send me $50 because you
No,
came on
I
my
beat you
show
to
and
it.
said it.
You
So
using
send me
my
fifty
you using my
dollars.
term.
Send me $50 that you because you lost every one of those games. You might as well say you lost Winston Salem State going to overtime with a D2 program, a D2. So you send me $50, and
Did
then
y'all
we'll
did
do it
y'all
from
see
there.
did y'all see the video where I told Stephen Gaither that we're gonna drop 60 on him on Winston Salem? So
Mm-mm-mm.
hey, listen, hey Wayne, I'm gonna contact you in August. And I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna contact. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come on. I'm gonna get on this show and tell you what I think we're gonna do after we get our players in.
All right, bet. Sound good.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Mr. A and T Roy, for coming on.
all right. Anytime, and until next time.
All right,
Aggie
that was
Pride.
Mr. Aggie Pride. Dang, he's right. You need to put a little bit more bass in your voice. I even got a little bit low. Here, do that again. You did it wrong. Wasn't enough bass.
Oh my gosh, Aggie Pride.
There you go.
Is
There
that
you
good?
go. Mr. Ford, what you think about that?
Oh boy.
Now, a lot of excuses, nothing definite. Like I say, the first person that needs to go is Earl Hilton. He and Chancellor Martin to start a program. Because let me tell you something, and I'm going to reiterate this again. Before Deion Sanders landed in Jackson, Mississippi, the best HBCU athletic program was North Carolina A&T. And under the direction of Chancellor Barton and Earl Hilton, the athletic director, they destroyed that program. Right now, the only thing that they really have going for them, I think, is girls basketball. You need to go check it. I think that's the only thing they got going. The track and field was really good. It was like in the top 5 in the nation. That guy left and went to
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, he went to Tennessee. You just said that the football program has won 2 games in the last 2 years. I don't know. I don't think the men's basketball program is outstanding anymore. The basketball program. And I tell you, you can check that baseball team. I think that baseball team had a losing season maybe the last 10 years. So what's great about Earl Hilton then?
All valid questions. And the way North Carolina A&T has been, man, it's just like I
And
said,
it, hey, and listen, the thing about it, it was self-inflicted.
Yep.
They destroyed their own program. It was self-inflicted.
Yep. But like I said about the football choice though, picking Vincent Brown. Like I said, man, Sean Gibbs was there for 11 years, man, as the running backs coach. I mean, that's why I said it wasn't as clear cut as he stated with between him and Vince Brown to me, because I know Vincent Brown was the DC over there, William and Mary. So yeah.
And Earl Hilton picked him. He
Yep.
picked him. He handpicked Vincent Brown.
Yep.
Because Vincent Brown was on the staff with Mike London down at William and Mary.
Yep.
He handpicked him.
Yeah, man. It It is what it is. It is what it is. But man, we talked about North Carolina A&T a lot, man. They got a lot of airtime, Simona.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of belt to ass too.
Oh man, this is awesome though. This is good times. It's always good times. Always good times. But
Hey,
what
can
what
they
I
beat can A&T beat Delaware State?
ah
I don't think they can.
That's what I'm saying. Can they beat Delaware State?
man, hey, I know that matchup with North Carolina Central gonna be interesting because I know when I talked to Trey Oliver at the Celebration Bowl during Radio Row, he was telling me him and Sean Gibbs, they go a long way back.
Yeah, both of
They
them are
like
graduates of Central, right?
they're like best of friends, man. They was in each other's weddings. So that'll be real interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah. So who is A&M's coach? Yeah, so we still trying to figure that out, man. We still trying to figure that out. And yeah, no, Brandy, we not opting out of football. We definitely gonna have a coach. But a lot of our alums, a lot of our people, man, people been impatient. They've been sitting up there real antsy. And I just took the stance of, hey, look, man, I'm just like, we gonna be surprised together. Cause
Mr. Ford,
Yes,
go ahead and
ma'am.
say who needs to be the coach of Alabama A&M, Mr. Ford.
Sam Shade.
No,
Sam Shade.
no. There's only one person. He's already been on campus. I done talked to a few alums at Alabama A&M.
I
They
swear to
already
God, if
done
you
gave me
say
the
that,
name of who they want. I'm telling you
if
right
you
now, there's
say
only
that
one
man
person who
name, you
need to be
get.
the coach at Alabama A&M.
If you
Only
say
one.
that man, if you say
I
that
won't
man
say his
name on
name, but
here,
you already know where
you
I'm
gonna
going.
get kicked
That's the
off.
only person. Outside of that, you waste your time.
They said go get the mailman from South Carolina State University.
yeah, I know the people that they've talked to. I know the names that the alums have wanted. Cause I'm
You
cause
already
I'm
know
a
where I'm getting. I ain't gonna say it, but
Hey,
you already know where
hey,
I'm
if you
getting.
say that name on here, you getting blocked.
I'm not,
Okay.
hey, but he know where I'm getting. I done talked to a few alums. They done told me on Twitter who they wanted. I just put it to you like this: if it is who I think it is, and his name has been circulating lately, I want to say within the past 2 days now, a couple of alums have already done alarmed me on a few things. Let's just say that if this name breaks loose, it's going to ring a
Stop,
few bells. Let's just say that it's going to trend for a couple of days. I'm warning you, Jackson State
Mr.
going to be in some
Ford.
trouble, and I'm a Jackson State supporter to their head.
If I
But if it's who
see
I think it
there's
is, y'all in trouble.
listen,
Hey, do you
if
got
I
do,
see one more NFL player with no head coaching experience named at an HBCU, I'm gonna think that there is some type of conspiracy theory going on, Mr. Ford.
I think him and Ed Reed are bed buddies.
You're not
I didn't
allowed to
say the
say
name.
that
Hey,
name
I
on
didn't
here.
say the name. Now, same rule should apply, right? I didn't say the name. He did. What should happen now?
You gotta be in timeout. That's a bad
Okay.
word.
yeah, well,
Now
I'll
I was
say
more. I
this.
was more than fair. Now I just wanted to. I just did. I did. I wanted somebody else to say it because I didn't want to be the one to say it. But I knew somebody else was going to say it if I didn't. But my thing is this:
That's a
if he's
bad word on this channel. Nobody's allowed to say it. You
not
gotta
saying the
pay
words, I
you
just put
gotta
it to you
tip
like this:
if you
if
accidentally let that name slip, you gotta send it's almost like a fine if you say that name. And why
no
is you hollering? Why is you hollering?
no name slips, I'm just being straightforward with you. If it's that guy, expect to see a lot of Shaq and Andrew and James. A lot of money's going to be backed into this. Let's just say I'll put it to you like this. I'm just gonna shoot it straight to you.
Jeremiah,
Alabama
why are you
A&M's
trying to
women's
get him
program.
kicked
Hold
off?
on. Alabama A&M's women's program is going to win the SWAT championship, right? And it's only with this hire, it's only going to further their reach, right? To be able to recruit some people, and they're going to dominate for a few years. I'm not going to say the name, but I'm just going to list two. One's going to be Adrian James. The other one's going to be Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of money is going to be backed into this, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Mr. Ford,
Uh,
don't you think it's a conspiracy going on if they keep hiring all these coaches with no coaching experience?
you know, that's what they want to do. That's their prerogative. And that wasn't that Bobby Brown said? Wasn't that his thing? My
Yeah, that's what he
prerogative.
said. That's
My
what he said.
prerogative.
All,
That's
all,
what they want to do.
all I'll say on this subject is once the coach is named, you will see my show be fired up. We will have the athletic director on. We also gonna have the interview with the head coach. We're gonna have all that stuff popping. So
All right.
everybody just be on the lookout for it.
The amount of I told you so's, I told you so's, I told you so's would not end.
The ass whooping that you gonna get, the ass whooping that you gonna get, the ass whooping
Not
that you
happening.
gonna
Not
get
happening.
from
With
the
with the with the
Jackson
money and
State
resources that's going to be
University.
back in this, they're going to be over resourced and they're going to be. It's not happening.
I think you need to stay off the crack, man.
No, no, no. You. Time will reveal all for me. So far, I've been right on everything else. I won't be wrong on this one. If it is who I think it is, there's going to be a lot of money that's going to be backed into this, and trust me, it's going to be ass whooping for a lot of people. I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right, Mr. Ford.
Uh,
So you said Sam Shade. So we got Sam. So you said that's okay. What about for Valley? You said Fred
Cornell
McNair,
Maynard. Cornell Maynard.
Corner Maynor. You said you riding with Maynor.
We're riding with Maynard.
Um, what do you think about Jackson State? You said earlier a couple weeks ago. You said that the SWAC has no answer for Jackson State. Do
No.
you think that the SWAC and the MEAC are coming up with answers, or are they just making a whole bunch of other extra questions with their hires? Do you think they're coming up with the answers?
Well, they're getting a lot of attention with their hires. That's what they get. They're
But
getting
do you think
clicks
that the
and
clicks and likes and impressions?
yeah,
But do you
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
the
That's what they
answer?
get. That's what they're getting
Is it
right there.
is it going to
We
be
got
the
to see
answer?
because the bottom line is we got to see them on the field. We got to see it on the field. The game
Do
ain't
you,
played on the podcast. The game ain't played on the radio. Game's not played in the newspaper and in the media. It's played on the field. Got to see what it look like on the field.
Well,
got to
well, we
see what it
gon'
looking like?
we gon' see.
Yeah,
We gon' see.
that's right. That's what I'm
And they
waiting.
should be able to recruit. They should be able to get some 4 and 5 stars, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Former
mean, we gonna
five
see.
stars and some four
We
stars.
gonna see. But I think them stars is overrated because they said it the other day. Patrick Mahomes was 2 star. Tariq Hill was no stars.
Hey, put Blue's comment up on the screen. What he said, Blue. What's up, Blue?
Well, let me see.
Look, Blue done backed up. Blue done backed up the comments. So
What he say?
that's what he said. He said, unless you're Ed Reed, then everybody in trouble. It just
Mind
backed
you,
up.
these are not my words, but I'm telling you, Roe Parish. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's his Roe Parish.
Reload the trenches. Do y'all not know Jackson State's roster? Kirk Ford just got approved for an extra year, so I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, you're saying we need to reload the trenches. We only lost Joshua Nobles, and I want to say, I don't know if you guys looked at our offensive line, but our offensive line is really, really young. Bringing in
Yeah.
a couple of Towns Blue too has an extra year. I mean, hey,
Yep. Yep. You got Towns Blue, you got Kirk Ford, you got Muda, and then on the other side, True Thompson.
and Henry, and I don't know if y'all know, Evan Henry wasn't playing center this year. They had somebody else playing center. Evan Henry played some right guard
Yeah, yeah, he did.
this year. So, and when they put the ones and twos, it wasn't no drop off. It was still belt to ass. And you know what else? uh, and I don't mean to be bragging and boastful. I'm just utilizing the stats in terms of what Jackson State has. Our quarterback, Zy McDonald went into the portal today,
Oh,
but
Zach McDonald went?
yeah, but
Yeah. Yep.
all of our quarterbacks that are on our team can start anywhere. They literally can start at any SWAC team as QB1.
You think Zach end up at Alabama State?
Not with that offensive coordinator. They just lost their defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's going to
he went to
UAB.
UAB. Yep.
UAB. Yeah, he's good. Lewis is good. Ryan Lewis.
Yeah, a lot of they defensive players went in the portal too.
Alabama State.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who were some of them?
I didn't see the names. I just know a couple of my close associates they were talking about in the chat. I gotta go
Okay.
back and look at it.
Okay.
I know Blue on here. I know Blue, he stayed with the portal. I know he would know. But yeah,
All
we'll
right.
see. We'll see.
So I did want to before we leave, I did want to shout out Zoe's new podcast so that we can make sure that we subscribe to his podcast. It's called Zone Coverage Podcast. So everybody make sure that you go and subscribe to his podcast.
I got a
Zone.
question. Quick question. What happened with Zoe on the
Hey,
KC
that ain't
1400
nothing.
Now,
show?
That
why
no,
would you be asking
that
me
ain't
that?
nothing. It ain't processed.
I don't know. I
Snow.
just haven't seen him on there lately. I thought that maybe since y'all were close
Well,
to him,
why
y'all
you
would know.
asking me?
I don't know because y'all are alums. Y'all are tied to the hip. You JSU.
Hey, how
If
about you
anybody
go
should know,
ask?
y'all would know. I'm just asking because I
How
haven't seen
about
him on
you
the show.
go? How about you go on Twitter and ask him yourself, man? Why are you asking us on this show right here?
Because
Just
y'all
y'all
are
just go.
JSU
Okay,
alums and y'all
so
have.
I just want y'all to go ahead and go subscribe to his podcast. I don't know what you asking me for. I can't speak on nobody else's stuff, but what I
I,
can do is
I'll
I can
just
drop
I'll just say this
I
then.
can I can drop his podcast in the chat and I want everybody to go and subscribe. That's it. That's all. There's 268 folks in the chat. It's nothing for 40 of y'all to click the link and go subscribe. Don't be asking us no questions. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing. You said you a Jackson State supporter, so you should know.
I'm
He
not going
said,
to assume
You
anything. I'm
know
just going to leave it
everything.
at
You
this.
know everything
And and
else.
and
You
and
know.
and and the guy from HBCU game day, I'm not going to say who, but he said it best when he was talking to Uncle Neely on the pregame show. He said it's best.
Why are we
Sometimes by
talking
not
about
saying
Uncle
he said,
Neely?
I'm just saying. Sometimes by not saying nothing, you're saying a lot. I'll leave it at
I
that.
don't. Well, I don't know nothing. But May Arn, thank you so much for coming on today.
Y'all
I
say bless you had a good
appreciate
one
you.
at a time. I don't know who Mayorn is. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it up, fam, on
That's
Twitter and all my social
you.
medias.
No, your
And y'all
name
stay
is May
blessed.
Arn. Your name is May Arn. I
My
know
name
for a
is
fact.
exactly as you read. All you got to do is not space it. My name is on Twitter, all social medias. If you need to hit me up, send me a DM, send me a message. I'll be right there to answer all your questions. Until next time, y'all stay blessed. Peace.
Stay blessed, keeping it up, fam. And that is keeping it up, fam.
so Timona, you got your end of the year extravaganza coming up on Saturday.
This Saturday, Mr. Ford, you gonna be on here on Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be here. Uh-huh.
You gonna be on time.
Well, well, I try to
Now,
let you, do your thing and then I come in.
all right, that's good. But when you say you be trying to let me do my thing, do you be on here on time or do you be a little bit late?
No, I usually hear you open up.
Okay. Okay, cool,
Mhm.
cool, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be the end of the year extravaganza.
Uh,
Um, everybody, if y'all don't know, ask somebody in the chat about next Saturday, or no, this coming Saturday. We
Yep.
got a special going on, Mr. Ford. We got a special live.
okay. All
So
right.
y'all make sure y'all bring y'all Gatorade, y'all water, your wine, your malt liquor. What y'all drinking on in the chat? Go ahead and drop it down. Mr. Ford, we're gonna be also talking about some of the top 10. Um, uh, we're gonna go over some of the top 10 experiences that we've had on the podcast this season.
Right.
You sure you sure y'all can get to 10, man? Y'all done had a lot.
Maybe we might do 5.
Like y'all done had a lot, man.
Some of them are just real quick, just one-liners.
But
Beat the blacks. Beat the blacks from A&T Roy. That's one of them.
yeah, before I go, let me say this too, and I want to give you flowers, Simona. We've done some good content. This has been great. This channel, man, like what you've done to build this channel, build this network has been great. And also I appreciate a lot of your supporters also watching my show as well. And also I appreciate your support of my show, Timona, everything that goes on. So, as you head into 2025, like let's just keep doing it big for the culture. And you know what I'm saying? I rock with y'all except for one day a year.
What day is that?
When we play y'all in football. That's the
When
only
we
day. That's the only day I don't rock with y'all. But the rest of the days, I'm with y'all, man. I
when we
rock
give him
with
that
y'all.
pink scooter.
Did they pack
Y'all
that up
know.
or did they leave it in the history?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to really try to find the info on that. I'm gonna see what's up on that. But man, I rock with y'all though. I rock with everybody. I ain't y'all everybody that watch me, y'all know I ain't one of them haters, man. I give everybody their flowers and shout everything out, man. So, but big shout out to you, Timona, for another year doing big things. And definitely we're gonna connect coming up here in the near future because this stuff always goes on and on and on. And
Yes, and I appreciate you for inviting me on your podcast, for even saying, "Hey, I'd like to know what you think on it." Had the opportunity to be on Radio Row with you, and we went
mhm.
over um, the game before
Yep.
it happened. We've had some great shows. You and Mr. Ford were actually on one of the beginning shows where we did our predictions on the order of finish. Um, Oh yeah, we'll definitely be linking up when the Jackson State alum, Coach Thornton, plays Jackson State University.
Yeah,
Um,
our
so
former coach.
so that's a thing right there.
Yeah.
Um, Coach Richards versus Don Thornton. Don Thornton is a former Jackson State alum, and she's been killing it in basically pre-conference games. She's been killing it and doing a really good job. So we're excited for that, and I of course, I always want to shout out other people's platforms and getting everybody's opinion. And I appreciate you for coming on my platform as well and sharing your thoughts. Um, as well as Doc. When I first started out, Doc allowed me to come on his platform and he basically showed me the ropes like, hey, this is how you use StreamYard. So I appreciate him. Of course, Mr. Ford, you are a pillared in the HBCU podcast community with your opinions. We love hearing what you have to say. So I look forward to this coming Saturday. Hopefully, are they going to announce your coach tomorrow?
Oh, A&M.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope. We'll see. But when it does happen, we will be on. I'll be with my From the Hill podcast crew, and it'll also be simultaneously streamed to the ride. So, but yeah, stay tuned. I guess
Mr.
the chat.
Ford, they're going to be announcing that coach real soon. So we
I
might
can't wait.
have we
I'm
might
ready
have
to hear it
Alabama
too.
I
A&M.
can't wait.
I'm ready. I'm just ready for it to be done. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I know I was always getting asked when what y'all doing with Maynard. I had to go through about 6 months of that. And then once that finally happened, now it's the who y'all hiring. But then once you hire somebody, then you gonna get the questions on what y'all coach gonna do. Y'all gonna win some games with him? What y'all gonna
Who's
do? So you
who's
know
your
how it
coaching
is.
staff? How are you going to build your coach? What kind of offense are you going to have? What kind of defense are you going to have? Who are you going
Hmm.
to model your offense and defense after? Are you going to be able to get a quarterback? Are you going to keep the quarterbacks that you already have
Right,
on
right,
your
right,
roster?
right. Exactly. So we'll see what it is. But y'all will see us on. We'll be talking about it. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Tamona. And yeah, we'll get up in the new year. Miss Ford, man, we'll get
Uh,
up. And Doc, you my boy, man. We'll get up.
Already.
okay.
All right. I see y'all.
All
All
right.
right. Yes, I'm ready for the. I'm ready. I'm ready. What year is it, Mr. Ford? I can't wait because I get to
It-
hear this all. I get to
It's
hear
the
this
year of
all
the
season.
Tigers.
Hey, I get to hear that all season
The
long.
year of the
All
Tigers.
season
Which Tigers, Mr.
long.
Ford?
The blue Bengal Tigers.
Already.
Men are taking those kids with him. Oh Lord. Um, Blue said they're getting Tyrone Wheatley. What?
What?
No, they're not. Why did you say what like that?
Blue, I know. Hey, you got jokes, Blue. I know that's a joke. You got jokes, man. Tyrone Wheatley. Man, I know good and well they didn't do that. I know they didn't do that.
Yeah, you said they ain't
I know
tripping
they
right
didn't do
now.
that. I
Mm,
thought he was in the NFL.
Blue being messy
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
because
That's
all
right,
of
Miss
the
Whitley. He being messy. Man, I know good and well they ain't. Man, please.
um they said he said it was a joke. He said one of the PV vans said they wanted him over Tremaine Jackson. Oh, you
Please.
know what? You know what? Gremlin. One of the Gremlin alums who was so gun ho about Hugh Jackson getting fired, and they were so happy about Mickey Joseph being hired. Man, he when he seen that they got Mike Vick at Norfolk State, he said they over there with Michael Vick and we over here with Mickey Mouse.
Hey, Coach Joseph gonna be all right. Coach, he gonna be all right.
You said the
Did,
G Man is back. That's what you
yeah,
said,
hey,
Mr.
did he name an offense coordinator yet?
No, not that I see.
Yeah, no, I was wondering, could we get the guy from Pine Bluff, that offensive coordinator over there? Would he come back to Grambling?
Oh,
Talking about
he
Tony
over there
Hall?
recruiting.
Yeah,
Maybe, maybe
Why
not.
you
It
want to do
depends.
that?
he would. I heard he was good.
But why you trying to take him from UAPB? They ain't gonna never be able to build their team.
Well, we trying to
They
get ours
already
right.
lost. They
Isn't he
already
a
lost their.
Louisiana guy? Isn't he from Louisiana? Is he from Louisiana?
I don't know, Tony. I don't know, but that's wrong, Mr. Ford. You
Huh?
don't care nothing about UAPB. You just using them as a JUCO at this point. If you take
Hey,
Tony Hull away, they'd already done lost their quarterback. They lost their receiver.
did anybody pick up that quarterback yet?
I haven't seen.
I haven't heard anything.
They said Jermaine Jackson, Janet Jackson. It's gonna be Jackson State by 40, by 40.
Oh,
Oh, Mr. Moore said you release me and think I'm coming back to you, man. Forget y'all. They didn't keep him on the staff, Mr. Ford.
oh, okay, okay.
So somebody in the chat said they want to keep TC calling the plays. It keeps home focused and engaged. Listen, folks was talking a lot of mess in the beginning about that play calling. Now all of a sudden you want to keep him as the play caller. I really do think he should elevate one of the staff, young staff members as an offensive coordinator, elevate them so that, if it's a younger guy, he wouldn't be um, mad if TC takes over the play calling in some situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That'd be a
yeah,
great opportunity to elevate like a Rip Kirk or something like that.
yeah, yeah. I
That
can see that.
way, you still have the ability to take over the play calling. He did say that he was tired.
I know
He
he
said
is.
he said he was tired. Did they announce who the HBCU Legacy Bowl coaches are going to be? I haven't
I
heard
hadn't
nothing.
heard that either.
Yeah, they said they were going to.
I, w- I want to keep calling plays, but hey, whatever floats
I
the
mean,
boat.
hey.
If it comes, give us a dub. I'm with it.
Oh, let me address this miss real quick. I wasn't gonna address it, but I am gonna address it because I just feel like go ahead and clear it out. So, um, I was in a private group chat with other Jackson State alums only, you know, and we talk about the game. We talk about everything, the game, uh, if we're fundraising, if we got some funds, how the basketball team is going, what's going on with recruiting. We literally talk about any and everything about Jackson State in this lovely private chat. It's a way to express our congratulations or our frustrations about Jackson State in any way that we deem fit. Um, and so I don't know. I don't even really want to go back to that time, but everybody knows that the Grambling game was just, it was a very traumatic experience for a lot of people from Jackson State. It was very traumatic because we just knew we was going undefeated. There wasn't a question on how good we were playing. Um, you know, I think we had just knocked the Sonic Rings out of Southern. Who did
Correct.
we beat Langston, beat the dog mess out of them. We lost to ULM, but we were competitive up until the late third quarter and the fourth quarter. We was very competitive. We beat Southern. We beat Langston. Who else did we? Was that the fourth game? Which game was that? The fourth one.
That was a game. Yeah, the Southern game we won, then we lost to Grambling that next week.
All right. So we had to go in the hole. As y'all know, I want to say that Thursday I got up there. Matter of fact, I got on there with, was it Wayne that I got up there with? Yeah, I got
Ye-
on Wayne's show. I was talking cash money. Ooh boy. When I tell you I was talking so much mess on that Gremlin at that the Gremlin pregame, I was talking about how we was gonna whoop up on Gremlin. They wasn't gonna be able to do nothing. Uh it's gonna be belt to ass. They not even gonna score. I was just, I mean, it was billboard material for sure, right? I was talking big boy stuff. So what happens? We get to the Grambling game, and I say, you know what? I'm not even gonna stream the game. I'm just gonna watch it from home. And I was in this private group chat. And what do we do during Grambling? We turn the ball over once, twice. We turned it over a third time. We turned it over a fourth time. And so, of course, when you are watching a game of this magnitude and you're just basically seeing your team get slaughtered, um, you might say some things that in the heat of the moment, you just get mad, right? Like, damn, what the is going on? What is happening? I'm distraught. And of course, as we all know, the Grambling game was the wake up call for the team. Um, but for during that time frame in this private chat, I said, "Fire TC, fire him." That's what I said in the chat, and I'm trying to pull up the post. I don't know. It was from a fake page. Um, that's what I said. I basically said it, and what I will say is this: Um, of course, I'm no longer in that group chat, but there's been a person, his name is Keelan, and we've already had this discussion before. And he's like trying to disrupt my process on my podcast, spreading lies and rumors. And so he basically took the screenshot and he sent it to people. Mind you, there's a whole bunch of folks saying in there, this quarterback needs to be kicked out or he needs to be benched. What's this cornerback doing over here? This cornerback, he don't need to be in there. He's not playing good. Just, I said it. I did. Do I regret saying it? Listen, I might have regretted saying it in that group chat, but the cussing that I was doing and the fussing that I was doing in watching the game, that's just a part of being a very, very what type of fan is that? I'm really involved in it, okay? So, did I actually mean fire him? No, I was literally saying it as in I'm frustrated, just like everybody else was saying. He don't need to play call no more. They need to pick a quarterback. They need to pick and choose who's gonna be the quarterback. Y'all can't keep doing it. There we go. There we go. Passionate. Passionate. So do I regret saying it? I regret saying it to where a person who took that private chat and tried to make it into something that it wasn't. I regret saying it in there. But for sure, the amount of cussing and bustling and crying, if you guys go back and look at the Gremlin SWAC Saturday, I literally was crying. Like, there was literally tears coming out of my eyes. And that's just because I'm a passionate person. And like they say, all fans say stuff when they're pissed. But, um, you know, it was said, somebody screenshot it, and they used it to make it seem like I'm fake or something. Baby, I'm not fake. When Prime left, that's when I started my podcast. And I have been down with Jackson State uh, from day one. Um, whether it's hyping up when we get recruits or whatever else. Hey, so I just wanted to make folks aware of that because I wouldn't want anybody to try to tear me down and I don't want for folks to think behind closed doors I'm talking bad about them. So I had to give the context and the context is um it was the Grambling game. It's the Grambling game, okay? I said it. I can't take it back. I said it. And like people are saying, we all get mad and say stuff when the heat of the moment, but I didn't want for somebody to spread. So if you see a screenshot where it says fire TC and you see my little picture on the side of it, it was me. I did say it, but I'm giving you context to why I said it, which was it was the Grambling game and so I have left that particular group chat, which I'm very sad about because outside of that, the people that are in that chat are, it's a great way to have fun. We say good morning every morning. It's a great community chat, but I had to leave it. Um, some other things that I just want to address because I don't want folks to keep. I don't know why they keep doing it, and I don't know why I have to keep addressing it, but it's just simply not true. And I'm going to address it on here so we don't have to keep going over this because it's not true. So this is just a heads up, but keep your mouth closed. The depth chart isn't accurate on purpose because we knew it would get posted by certain people wanting clicks. This is why I sent out a warning. People gave them the M they wanted so they can get kicked out of Ken's group. Hey, I'm going to address it. First off, I don't be in Ken's group. I don't pay $50 a month. So, and whatever group he's talking about that I was in, I wasn't in it. If my name was in it, I was not active in it. I done been through about 4 iPhones in the past year. I haven't been on that, right? And I'm going to address this because the depth chart and Doc can confirm, the depth chart that he's speaking about was released by Jackson State Media Center. Right? We had the depth chart from Jackson State. So there is no I'm a mole and you know, I wanted to address it because I don't want y'all to think that I'm, which it wouldn't even make any sense. Why would I spread bad rumors about Jackson State or let people in on a Jackson State's playbook or give somebody a heads up about anything related to Jackson State? Why would I do that? That wouldn't even be good for my platform to spread lies and rumors. Here's another lie that was spread, and I'm going to address it. Really interesting, the same way she keeps getting turned down for personal interviews. I don't ask coaches for personal interviews. I don't. Because I like to have in-person conversations with coaches. I like it. I feel like it's better. I had the chance to do that at Radio Row, and it was fun. I had the chance to do it at SWAC Media Day. I like that type of interaction, not necessarily over the computer. So, I addressed it here. I'm going to leave it alone. We're going to go back to having fun. And I can't wait for this Saturday. Mr. Ford, you got to be on time.
Okay, and what time is on time?
9 o'clock.
Okay.
And when is this? This Saturday?
Saturday. We got a big show.
You got a big show? Do I need to get suited and booted?
Make sure y'all got y'all water, y'all wine, y'all Gatorade, ginger ale, hot chocolate. What other drinks? Malt liquor. What else y'all drinking? Wine. Bring your drinks, okay? Bring your drinks. All right. You guys want to say anything before we close out? You want to do the benediction? Mr. Ford, you want to do the benediction?
Was it, may the Lord watch between me and thee?
While we are absent.
One from another.
Is that it?
Yeah, I remember that from Sunday school.
All right, y'all. Everybody be blessed. And I will see y'all on Saturday.
Hello. Welcome back to Lessons with Kobe. Today, we will be learning the term belt to ass in sign language. First, we're going to break it down. Stay with me. Belt to ass. One more time. Belt to ass. Together now. Belt to ass. And that concludes my lesson. See you next season.
I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around, and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I follow control. The clouds hang low. I can hardly see the road. Lord. Lord, why so much pain? But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see, so I'll just say, thank you, Lord. I won't complain. But He is so good to me. He's been good to me. Better than this world all you could ever be. He's been so good. But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see, so I'll just say, thank you, Lord.